K-Out Court inside Reynolds Coliseum, looking beautiful. And I know it's quiet in there right now, but shortly about 6,000 fans will be filing in for the top 15 showdown. NC State against Notre Dame. And if you're wondering where the fans are, yeah, that's where they are. Right now, outside, they've been lined up all morning, getting ready for this big matchup. Fun fact, State is one of only 4 schools to ever host College Game Day in football and both men's and women's basketball.
As they should.
Right now, we bring in a third of the trio that you'll be seeing on Women's College Game Day coming up at 11 o'clock on ESPN. Andrea Carter, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. NC State was on the road this last week. 2 games, one a close loss to Carolina at Carolina, but then they followed it up with a nice win at Georgia Tech. Today will be their 5th-ranked foe in their last 6 games, so they have been tested. How would you say NC State is feeling right now mentally and physically?
You know, I would say that they're in a great place. Isaiah James, Sanaya Rivers, a ton of the players actually passed out donuts with me, Elle, and Shanae to all of those fans that were standing out there. They were dancing in the hallway. They invited Elle and Shanae into the locker room to dance. I had to finish getting ready, so I didn't get to go join them. But I think the vibes are loose and the vibes are high, which when you have a team that's coming in like Notre Dame and you've been through a bit of a rough stretch and you're playing all of these tough teams, the vibes being high to me is a good thing. They look comfortable, they look confident, they look like they're ready and loose instead of tense and tight. So that's the vibe that I've gotten so far.
Dre, you mentioned the dancing, not me. So I have to know, between the 2 big threes, Sanaya, Isaiah, and Maddie, or you, Ellen, Shanae, who has the best dance moves?
Oh, wow. Well, those 3 are much better than us on TikTok, that's for sure. So I would maybe get, yeah, look at these. Like, I don't know how we compete with this.
I mean,
dancing isn't necessarily my strong suit, so, you know, but you actually, how are my TikTok skills? You know my TikTok skills are pretty legit. I just don't have
you
that
should
many
be hopping
reps.
in. You should be hopping in. Reps, but you belong right there where Maddie is, honestly.
Yes, in the back. In the back, that's where I need to be. No, but it's fun. These 3 are so fun, like the way that they're connected, and they're going to have to be connected, not to pivot back to basketball because you know me, but those 3 are going to have to set the tone for this team. As I'm like watching them dance, my mind's starting to think about the game, and those 3 have to set the tone for NC State.
Yeah.
Getting back to basketball, we are. Drea, it's great to see you. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here because the big news out of the AP poll this week, Notre Dame being ranked #1 for the first time since 2019. But in your opinion, are they the best team in the country?
Oh, that's difficult. You know, it's tricky because it's hard for me to pick one right now. Like, I still need to see more. To me, UCLA fell out of the #1 spot. To me, UCLA lost the #1 spot more than Notre Dame gained it, right? Both are great teams. Both are extremely balanced, but UCLA lost that spot by losing to USC. When I think about the balance that UCLA has, the size that UCLA has, but then I also think about the balance and the depth and the speed that this Notre Dame team has. It is hard for me to argue with Notre Dame right now. They're the best 3-point shooting team in the country. They play great defense behind Hannah Hidalgo. Like, UCLA lost it, but Notre Dame has also earned it with the resume that they have put together.
Yeah, got to put you on the spot there. NC State, when we talked about that Carolina game, only scored 65 points, which was their fewest in ACC play this season. Carolina has a stout defense, but so does Notre Dame, and they roll into town today. What does NC State have to do better this time around against this Irish defense?
Well, NC State has to take care of the ball. And the one thing Notre Dame loves to thrive off of is getting steals. They get 11 steals a game, this Notre Dame team. So taking care of the basketball is going to be huge when you are this NC State team. Also, you want to score so that you can set up your defense. So when it comes to putting points on the board, scoring is important, but it's mostly important because Notre Dame loves to get out in transition. So if NC State can put points on the board, then they can get back, they can set up their defense and try to slow down that Notre Dame offense. So to me, those are the biggest things. Taking care of the ball and getting back in transition is going to be huge for this NC State team. I also think that NC State is a little outmatched on the inside. You got Leah King, you have Maddie Westbeld, you got size coming off the bench. NC State's inside game is limited when it comes to depth, limited when it comes to production. So again, my eyes are on the NC State guards. I think they have to play above and beyond themselves to get this win against Notre Dame.
Let's stay with the guards. I see this as a battle of the backcourt. I know you mentioned the post, but obviously it's no secret that the backcourt is very strong for both teams. So how do you see this game playing out against the guards?
Yeah, it's interesting. We're going to talk about it a little bit on the show, just the way that we have, Olivia Miles is on WNBA draft boards, Sanaya Rivers, Isaiah James, they're in WNBA draft conversations. Like, to me, these backcourts are going to go at it. Sonia Citron on WNBA draft boards in conversations. Obviously, we talk about Hannah Hidalgo. Like, the backcourts are going to duke it out, duel it out to me like they have something to prove. And that's what I'm excited to watch. Who's going to take care of the ball? Who's going to play with an edge? Who's going to play with a level of toughness from the backcourt? Because that's where everything starts for both of these teams. You're absolutely right. Where I think Notre Dame has an edge on the inside, that's why NC State's backcourt has to outplay Notre Dame's backcourt.
So I am dying to see who Sanaya Rivers matches up with. The last time these two teams met, she was guarding Sonia Citron, which I expect might be the case again just because of the size element. How big is that defensive assignment, and how much can that fuel Sanaya Rivers? Because I feel like her size, her athleticism, she's one of the few that can maybe slow down some of the Notre Dame attack.
Yeah, I'd be really interested. Obviously, Sonia, but then who matches up with now? The biggest thing with Notre Dame is Olivia Miles is back in the fold. So who matches up with Olivia Miles? Is it going to be Sanaya Rivers with her defense and her length and her size and her athleticism? The biggest thing for Sanaya Rivers is also staying out of foul trouble. There have been a couple of games this season where she ends up on the bench in the first half because she picks up 2 quick fouls. If I'm Notre Dame on the other side, I'm hunting Sanaya Rivers because the best ability is availability. So if she's not available to be on the court with a couple of fouls, go ahead and put her on the sideline. So Sanaya Rivers defensively, I could see Wes Moore switching it up. Sonia Citron, obviously a very high IQ, and she can pick the defense apart. But to me, Olivia Miles is the head of the snake. So I would be interested to see if that's the matchup we get, because it's best on best. The best defender against the best offensive weapon.
Going to be so good. It's going to be a great chess match, too, between head coach Wes Moore and Niele Ivey on the Irish side. Thank you so much, Drea. Ari says take a lot of pictures there at Reynolds.
You have to look at the material.
She's so jealous.
I see you wearing your red. I see you wearing your red just a little bit.
There's so much red going around here.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Tuck your Wolfpack away. It's showing.
I
Okay,
am,
tuck it away. Tuck it away.
Yeah, this alum here is trying to keep it cool. Dre, thank you so much. Have a great show.
Of course, thank you.
Did you tuck that Wolfpack away?
Of course not.
No, definitely not.
Just for the 30 minutes so I can't.
For those at home who don't know, she is a Wolfpack alum. So you are allowed to let your colors shine bright today because it is a big matchup.
That she hasn't howled yet.
Yeah.
Are we going to get that before the...
Discuss State. That's how you get before I get fired. Anyway.
Time now for Magic Moments, covered by State Farm. And for that, we welcome in somebody who's produced a ton of on-court magic already this season. NC State senior guard Sanaya Rivers, one of our favorites in all of college basketball. Sanaya, thank you so much for joining us. We got to talk to Andrea Carter a little bit earlier, and she mentioned how she felt like you guys feel really loose and not tight ahead of this big game. Take us inside the locker room right now. What's it like from your perspective?
Yeah, we've been having fun all morning. We got here, it was in high spirits. It was a little early, but got some shots up, got our confidence high. Went and filmed, just watched a little extra clips. It's going to be a fun game. Energy's high. Been in the locker room, listening to our music. It's going to be a good day. We're feeling good.
Now, Sanaya, I was informed that you already challenged them to a dance battle, but beyond what's happening in the locker room and all the chaos in Reynolds, what is it like having College Game Day in Raleigh?
It's amazing. I was just saying I've never been on a podium like this before. It's an amazing honor. I haven't been a part of College Game Day since my freshman year. But, yeah, we brought them down to the locker room. It was just like, y'all trying to dance with us, get lit. And they came down, and, I mean, y'all, I'm not going to lie. Them knees, don't let her fool you. Them knees is good. They work. Them knees work.
I need you to preserve the knees. Hey, next time I'm down there, you challenge me. She doesn't think I can dance, y'all.
Not my knees. Not my knees. I ain't got no mega knees. Elle got the mega knees.
Elle also got vocals, and I know y'all be spitting, like, did y'all get a rap singing situation going too? Oh, my God.
I'm just the director. I don't get into all that.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
Sanaya, getting a pulse on your team lately, it's been an interesting week. Tough loss to UNC last Sunday, but you bounced back against Georgia Tech on Thursday. What have you learned about your team in the last week?
We work hard. Sometimes we get outworked, unfortunately. All it takes is scoring one more point than the other team. It's a tough environment to play in Chapel Hill, but obviously we bounced back against Georgia Tech. That's a well-coached team, a good put-together team. But we just play together, and when we play together and get out in transition and just use it to our advantage, I think we'll win every game that we play. As long as we rebound, we're getting out-rebounded at the beginning of Georgia Tech, and then we flip that in the second half, and we ended up doing what we had to do, and it resulted in a win for us. So that's what we need to do today. So.
Sanaya, let's keep the reflection going. You're a major part of the core of this team, and I know that there have been ups and downs in this season. So what have you learned about yourself as a leader and a senior?
Yeah, just staying consistent. I got to keep the margin of error very slim, slim to none. I'm a point guard as well as a leader, so being a point guard on the court, I have to just make sure everybody is staying composed, even myself. Sometimes the game doesn't go as well as we want. The other team goes on runs, but basketball is a game of runs, and as long as we understand that and just respond, I think we'll be fine. And for me, just getting my teammates involved, playing both sides of the ball, I take a lot of pride in defense, so because it translates to offense, and whether that's scoring myself or getting my teammates involved, I just try to make sure I can contribute to the win however I can.
You got such great experience down the stretch of last season, making the Final Four for the first time in school history. Yes. What's it going to take to get back there again?
It's going to take a lot of hard work. Like I said, keeping that margin of error very slim. When it gets time, crunch time, it's win or go home. So right now we have a little more free wiggle room, but we treat this just like it's the Final Four. Every game matters. We win, we play together. We'll get out in transition. This game is going to be big tonight because they get out in transition as well. So we're going to be tired, but we got bodies on the bench, so we're going to have to sub a little bit. But it's going to be a fun game, and I think it's going to be good for women's college basketball as a whole. So we're excited.
Yeah, this is going to be a great game today. On a lighter note, before we let you go, we know your head coach Wes Moore is a character, and he's full of quotes. He's also on the Naismith Coach of the Year watch list, as he should be. My favorite quote is the McDonald's one that he says all the time. He's like, I like my team like I like my McDonald's French fries, consistent no matter where you go all around the world. What is yours, Sanaya, in your opinion, favorite Wes Moore quote or ism that he says all the time?
I'm not going to lie, that's my favorite one. As soon as you brought him up, I was going to say that one. He likes it hot and salty. He always talks about them fries. And sometimes when he says that, I'm like, I went to McDonald's the other day, and them fries was a little bit cold and soggy. So I want the hot fries he be talking about. But that's how we have to come out tonight. That's what he expects from us. He obviously took us to the Final Four last year, so he definitely is very deserving of his flowers and being potentially Coach of the Year. He's amazing at what he does. He puts us in great positions to be successful. So we're excited to get this done for us, Wolfpack Nation, and for him, and we're going to get it done tonight for sure.
Okay, now really, actually, before we let you go, I'm looking over your shoulder. I see Olivia Miles. I see Hannah Hidalgo warming up. You got some intel on the game plan that you can give away?
Tell us the secret.
Top secret?
Hey, listen, y'all been seeing it from them all year. They're great players. They play well together. Me and Zao, obviously a dynamic duo, but that's another one right there. So we're just excited to go head-to-head, battle it out. Like I said, it's going to be a great game for women's college basketball, but it'll be a test for us for sure. That's a great team, well-coached, and we're just excited for the challenge.
Yeah, she's keeping it lock and key on how they plan to defend that Irish backcourt. Sanaya, good luck today. Have a great game. Stay healthy and enjoy the atmosphere there at Reynolds.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
So appreciate Sanaya joining us so close to game time and giving us some insight into what's going on there at Reynolds. How are you feeling as we count down to tip-off right now?
I mean, look, Notre Dame is favored for a reason. I just think that in order for NC State to pull off a win, they really got to bring the energy and the swagger for 40 minutes. They can't be passive the way they were against North Carolina. They're obviously going to be energized on their home floor with that 19-game home win streak on the line, but they just really got to try to match that fire. Like I said, Hidalgo and Miles, they're scary in these types of big games.
They have a huge home court advantage. It's all about harnessing the energy, being mature about the situation, and taking care of the basketball. Andrea Carter said it themselves. They're kind of known to like foul trouble in the beginning with like whether it be Sanaya or Isaiah, just making sure you take care of it so you can be utilized the whole game.
All right, and for you, I think I know which direction you're leaning. We mentioned it a little bit earlier.
It.
We have photo evidence of Ari Chambers back in her NC State days. There she is, little cheerleader.
Go Pack.
The best of times.
I'm going with my heart, not my head. You know,
I understand.
Go
Hey,
Pack.
and look, they do have that home court advantage.
They do.
I do want to leave you with this. Maria just mentioned it. NC State.
Look, a big three right there.
Has won 19 straight home games. Notre Dame currently on a 19-game win streak. But something's got to give today there in Raleigh. For Maria, For Ari, I'm Taylor Tannenbaum. Going to be an incredible showdown there at Reynolds Coliseum. Thank you to Sanaya Rivers, to Michaela Blakes, who also joined us from Vanderbilt, Andrea Carter as well. You're going to enjoy this one right here on ESPN coming up at noon. But before you do that, you got to tune in to College Game Day going on right now on ESPN with El Cheney. And of course, Andrea Carter, thank you so much for joining Countdown to Game Day covered by State Farm. We will see you right here next week.
In Raleigh, North Carolina, red doesn't run deep. It runs everything. Under the watchful gaze of Wolfpack Tower, legends born. Kay Yow's fire still burns. Jimmy V's voice still echoes. Legacies pulsing through the hollowed halls of Reynolds Coliseum. They say a lone wolf will roam, but only the pack knows the thrill of the hunt. And today, it's Irish on the menu. Welcome to College Game Day live from NC State.
It's a sellout crowd.
What an atmosphere. This place is buzzing.
Showtime, baby!
We're on the show. Let's go.
This is College Game Day. Let's go.
What a highlight.
The game is in good hands.
One of the most dynamic duos in college hoops.
Around the back and in by Leisha. That one.
Because it's always the combination.
That 1-2 punch. This is a must-see TV.
Want to talk about a Sunday fun day? You have got it right here.
College Game Day, live from Raleigh, North Carolina, is covered by State Farm.
When you talk about atmosphere, check out this scene. Fans lined up at 7 a.m. outside of Reynolds Coliseum. Some last night, wrapped in the chill, waiting for the doors to open. The pride of the pack stitched into every hoodie, painted across every single face. The stakes couldn't be bigger. An ACC showdown with #1 Notre Dame taking on a #13 NC State team who've won 19 straight here at home. And they let all that get to their head, but they don't care. They paint the town red. Welcome to College Game Day live from Reynolds Coliseum. I am your host, Elle Duncan, alongside everybody's resident Swiss Army knife, former Lady Vol Andrea Carter, and my girl, Stanford Hall of Famer, Chinea Agumake. We're always really big on vibe checks before we get this show started,
Yeah, we
right?
are. Yep.
Can we do a vibe check with
Let's
the
do it.
Wolfpack fans?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Wolf! 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 Wolf!
There we go.
There we go. They can hear us. They can hear us.
They got the vibes. They got the
Listen,
vibes.
this is one of the absolute best atmospheres. We've got a huge game, or huge show for you, rather, as we get ready for this tip, 12 noon, right here on ESPN. There they are. It just took them a minute. The sound has to travel to the other side of the court. We've got Isaiah James joining us live here. We'll chat with Niele Ivey as well. Lauren Betts, UCLA star, would join us. And ahead of their huge showdown with Kentucky, we'll be joined by LSU stars Flau'jae Johnson and Anissa Morrow. But when you talk about this particular game, I mentioned the stakes, and they are huge. On the line today, in the top two teams in the ACC, a win for Notre Dame, and they clinch its 8th regular season title in 12 seasons since joining the conference. However, over the last 4 seasons, no team has more wins at home versus ranked opponents than NC State does. And when you talk about two of these teams, last year an NC State team that over-exceeded expectations, making the program's first Final Four, a Notre Dame team that because of injury end up losing in the Sweet 16 in the tournament. But these are two very different teams than the ones we saw a season ago.
Yeah, if we're just going big picture coming into this season, this is an NC State team that lost a lot of their inside presence. They lose Mimi Collins, they lose River Baldwin, and they're reliant on their guards, but they kind of had to restart at the start of the season and figure out their chemistry again. Notre Dame, on the other hand, comes into this season healthy with all of their pieces. I know these fans don't want to hear it, But Notre Dame comes in, they add from the transfer portal, and they add Olivia Miles back into the fold, and that's why this Notre Dame team is so dangerous. They've been clicking on all cylinders.
And you know NC State doesn't want to hear that Notre Dame is now #1 in the country. So yes, these two teams are different, but their top players are not only the same, they're better. Let's start with Notre Dame. I mean, Hannah Hidalgo, what a season she's had, 24 points per game, a menace defensively. And Olivia Miles, some of the most fun passes we've seen in women's college basketball. But I feel like we should also give love to the Wolfpack, because Isaiah James is a straight bucket, 18 points per game. And of course, Sanaya Rivers, she's silky smooth, but she's ferocious. Her defense, her blocks are huge. And when I talk about blocks, I think she set a career high versus UNC. Look her punch these shots out of the stratosphere. She is tough. She keeps the ball in play and allows them to go the other way. So no shot is safe, whether it's in half court or in transition. This is the reason why this team is competitive. You might have Olivia, you might have Hannah, but guess what? NC State, they've got Sanaya.
And eyes are going to be on Sanaya. That defense, the defensive energy, her staying out of foul trouble. I want to see the matchup. Is it going to be Sanaya Rivers on Olivia Miles? Because that's best on best. Your best defender.
Girl, she's going to be everywhere.
Best offensive
She's going to be
player.
everywhere. You know, she's going to switch. She's going to take every assignment.
We kind of joke that both of these teams feature their own versions of big threes, and you talk about how important they are to what each respective team does. For Notre Dame's big three, right, of Sonia Citron, Olivia Miles, and Hannah Hidalgo, they account for 60% of their offense. Of course, the big three for NC State of Zoe Brooks and Rivers and Banks account for 56% of NC State's offense. She likes it.
I love when we talk about Olivia Miles, because when she is the only ACC player, 15 points per game, 60% from 2, 40% from 3. It's not just the three-pointer that kills you. It's not just the twos that kill you. What really kills you more than anything is her vision. She wears goggles, and I think she can see the back of her head. Not even with the eyes in the front of her head. She has eyes in the back of her head. And Olivia Miles being on this team, Hannah Hidalgo leads the nation in fast break points. Why is that? Because Hannah can now run the 2. Olivia Miles is at the 1 and can feed Hannah Hidalgo in the full court. Watching Olivia Miles operate is so much fun.
That's 8 fast break points per game that you get from Hannah Hidalgo just because Olivia Miles exists at the point guard position. But again, this is a team, Notre Dame, that's #1 in the ACC in assists per game. It goes as Olivia goes.
Also a really good defense as well. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but we're counting you down to tip-off, brought to you by Wendy's. Don't forget to order your delivery before game time.
Rivers finds James for 3.
Sanaya Rivers and Isaiah James, those two are playing at a really high level, and we've made sure we get the ball in their hands.
Sanaya Rivers, my goodness, what a defender.
I love Sanaya, you know, she's a sister to me. The love that we have, the connection that we have, the bond that we have on and off the court, it's just all love.
A career night for Isaiah James.
I love Isaiah. That's my dog. You know, that's been my dog since I got here. She gives us hype, she gives us energy, and she's just done so much for this team.
And we are joined now by NC State senior guard Isaiah James, who's warming up just behind us. And Isaiah, 19 straight wins here at Reynolds Coliseum. What makes this place so incredibly tough to play at for opponents? I don't know that she can hear me. Isaiah, can you hear me?
Oh, nope.
She might be locked in.
Okay, Isaiah, can you hear me? Isaiah, can you hear me? There we go. Now we're in the PA. There she is.
In the gym, not in the microphone.
She's in the zone. She's in the zone. Isaiah, 19 straight home wins here. What makes this such a tough place to play for opponents?
I can't hear. Can't hear.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
No.
I feel like we're doing a commercial. She cannot hear me. She heard me say, "Can you hear me?"
I can hear outside. No,
she hears us. She can hear the outside. That's okay. Can you hear the arena? Okay. All right. We're working on it. This is live television, baby. This is what we do. Hey, in the meantime, how you guys feel about your girl Isaiah James? We love her. All right. They can hear me. They can hear me. All right, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to work out the technical difficulties because we'd love to chat with her. This is the kind of access that we love here on College Game Day. So in the meantime, we will take a quick break, but still ahead on this very show. We've got an SEC showdown. Can Georgia Amore and the Wildcats slow down the high-powered offense of the LSU Tigers? We'll talk to two of their dynamic duo. And Holly Rose sits down with UCLA star Lauren Betts to discuss the Bruins season and the lessons learned from their loss to USC. College Game Day rolls on after this.
Hidalgo shaking inside. A walking bucket is Isaiah James. Oh, look at Miles. He came to ball. Able to whip it. Oh, what a play. Oh, what a fake, Isaiah James. She just plays with such an infectious joy. Rivers amping up the crowd.
College Game Day is covered by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And in part by Wendy's. Try a $3 Son of Baconator today.
Well, so many fantastic games on the slate for you today, including this one that we're at, College Game Day at NC State for #1 Notre Dame, taking on number 13 NC State, a game you'll see the tips on noon Eastern right here on ESPN. Third time is a charm. We are so excited to bring in, live from warm-up, senior guard for NC State, Isaiah James. And Isaiah, you got us now? We good, sis?
Yes.
Yes. All right, here we go.
Yes.
You know, I mentioned a couple of times, 19 straight wins here at home. What makes this place so tough for opponents?
You know, the fans, as you can hear them already, the game, the doors didn't even open yet, and they were already here. I heard they was here like at least 10:30 last night, so, you know, we got to do it for them.
Isaiah, I don't even know if you know this, but your last 5 home games, you're averaging 24 points on over 50% from the field. You have been tough at home. What's been working well for you out on the court so far?
You know, my point guards, they seeing when I'm open and stuff like that, me getting open, me taking good shot selections, Coach Moore creating good plays. So just giving it all to them.
Isaiah, around this time last year, your team, NC State, caught fire and made a huge run to the Final Four. What's your team's mindset right now?
You know, we know the steps from last year, so just taking the same ones and, you know, being focused, watching film, doing our mistakes, making sure we're on the same page and, you know, staying together.
Well, talking about staying together, that's something you have to do against this Notre Dame team. And the last 6 times you all have faced Notre Dame, it's been split. You all have won 3 games, Notre Dame has won 3 games, and some of them have been decided by single digits. What makes this matchup with Notre Dame so exciting?
You know, it shows how good both programs are, and, you know, just shows the fight that we both have, and it's going to be a good game again.
What's the key to stopping them? Go ahead and share all of your secrets right here while they're not listening.
You know, staying motivated, staying focused. Like I said, staying together, making sure we have good team chemistry, staying locked in, execute everything Coach Moore says, and, you know, getting a W.
And Isaiah, you don't have to do that by yourself. You have a partner in crime, Sanaya Rivers. What do you love about her game?
Oh, man. I mean, no, now you got so many keys to her game. You know, you can't tell she play all 3 levels. And, you know, she's good at rebounding and things like that. She got good passing skills and that sort. So it's a lot to tell about Naya.
And she's got pretty good dance moves, too.
Oh, she does. I was going to say, yeah, go ahead.
Naya.
You want to show something?
Can I hit
I was going to say, you know, we affectionately call ourselves the Big 3, but between you, Sanaya, and Madison, you have your own TikTok Big 3. Yep. We just showed a little clip there. You guys like to dance and get some of these dances off. Yes. And I do have to say, Chene, they forced us into the locker room, and they forced us to dance to Juvenile this morning.
We can't even show the video.
Hey, that's what y'all said. I thought y'all just came in there with a...
No, but honestly, Isaiah, how does your off-court chemistry impact what you're able to do on the court?
You know, just being one of the leaders of the team, making sure everybody just, like I said, on the same page, making sure that we're not down one, making sure that everybody knows what they're doing at each position, just communicating with each other and, you know, just fighting with each other.
Well, listen, one day when you decide to hang up your sneakers, if you guys want to get a dance troupe off, you can certainly do that. We appreciate you so much, Isaiah. Good luck today.
Thanks,
and we'll see you at tip in just a few minutes. When you talk about College Game Day and this incredible environment, it is really, really tough to win here. In fact, Reynolds Coliseum has been one of the toughest places to visit for the rest of the nation. They've won 13 home games versus ranked teams over the last 4 seasons alone. That's tied for the most in the country. I love the delayed reaction. They're like, oh yeah, no, we are, we're lit.
We're live,
yeah,
we're live,
lit.
baby.
And when it comes to top 10 opponents, Notre Dame be on alert. The Wolfpack have won their last 4 at home. A little earlier, Holly Rowe caught up with NC State head coach Wes Moore.
Well, Coach, College Game Day here. Your fans are going crazy. What is this like for your program?
Oh, it's awesome. We appreciate you guys being here, and it's we went out and gave out donuts a while ago. We had people that started camping out at 10:30 last night, and it's a little cooler here than normal. So I'm impressed that that they have that dedication. But we're excited. It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere.
You guys have done well, played well against top 10 teams here. What confidence and execution does your team need tonight?
Yeah, I hope they have a lot of confidence. Notre Dame's a great team, lot of challenges, but again, we had success here, and hopefully we have that confidence and come out and be a great game.
Just quickly, everybody's talking about their guards. You've got some really good guards of your own. What does the nation need to be excited for?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great matchup. Sanaya and Isaiah, Madison Hayes, Zoe Brooks. I mean, we basically start 4 guards, and all of them can go off and have big games, and we need them to today. It's going to take that to try to slow down Notre Dame's great guards.
All right, well, thanks and enjoy.
All right, thanks, Holly.
All right, we are ready for our State Farm Challenge, and standing with us to attempt to win $19,000 to represent the over 19,000 State Farm representatives across the country is junior here at NC State, Caroline Wood. Hi,
Caroline.
Caroline is an elementary education student here, and I know your parents are season ticket holders, so you bleed red. Are you ready to attempt the State Farm Challenge? You have to make 2 layups, a free throw, and a 3 in 19 seconds to win $19,000. Do we think she can do it?
Yes. Yes.
Caroline, do you think you can do it?
Ready.
Yes!
Yeah, Caroline.
All right,
Here we go.
The second that you touch the ball is when the time will start. Y'all give her some love. Let's help her get this. You ready? Go.
Here we go.
Let's go, Caroline.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
That's one.
ma'am.
That's one.
Yeah, other side.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's free throw. Free throw.
She's locked in.
Okay,
Come on.
almost
All
there.
right, that's
Good.
nice.
Looks good. Looks good.
You got 7 seconds.
Form is good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, hit a 3. Hit a 3. Got it.
Let's go.
Do the 3.
Push it up, follow through, high. Come on.
No way.
Oh, she was this close. But
crushed it.
here is the good news. Caroline still wins $1,900 courtesy of State Farm. Caroline, great
You're
job.
the best we've ever seen.
You're
so
the best
far.
we've ever had.
Yes.
You seriously are. Well done, Caroline. All right, still ahead on College Game Day. As we like to do on this show, we're going to go inside the bag of Coach Niele Ivey to take a look at what she has at her disposal with this incredible Notre Dame team. All right, she did it. Okay, Caroline. Caroline, she's the reason for the word swish. Hey!
Okay, there's a mom joke. Okay. Hey.
You're watching College Game Day, covered by State Farm. Welcome back to College Game Day, covered by State Farm.
Welcome back to College Game Day, live from Raleigh here at NC State. A team looking to take down a #1 team for the first time since 2021. And we will be joined by Notre Dame head coach Niele Ivey in just a little bit. We will further break down this incredible ACC matchup.
Expect to be #2. I know this is a little personal for me. Seattle Storm has a #2 pick. I ain't mad at it.
Not mad.
I ain't mad at it.
Not mad.
Why is it personal to you, Chanae?
I have
what
no
reason?
clue why. Maybe because my sister
your
wears
sister plays
green
there?
and plays in there. Yeah.
I do want to mention something, though, just to put a button on your Georgia Amore. She's one of 3 players, you guys, in history to have 2,300 points and 800 assists. Do you know the other 2? Sabrina Ionescu
Caitlin Clark.
and Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Are they good?
Yeah.
That feels like they're pretty good. Just absolutely incredible. Again, that game tips between Kentucky and LSU, 4 p.m. on ESPN. But we are closing in on tip of NC State and Notre Dame, #1 for the first time since 2019. And so their head coach, Niele Ivey, just moments ago caught up with our Holly Rowe.
Well, Coach Ivey, you have a chance to clinch the ACC regular season championship today, but you've got to do it on the road against a tough team. What is the focus?
Definitely 40 minutes. That's a focus. We understand that this is going to could be history. This team is a fantastic team. They're 14-0 at home, so we got to be ready for 40 minutes.
They have a great matchup for you in that your strength is your guards. They have 4 guards that they're starting. How do you see the matchup?
I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be great for women's basketball. Their guards are fantastic. They're just as dynamic as mine, 3-level scorers, so we have to do a great job of containing them.
How do you guys handle the composure, the poise in a loud, crazy environment?
Yeah, well, we're used to it. You know, have had an extremely tough schedule, been in a lot of crazy, hostile environments, so we're ready for that. Our experience, I'm hoping, that can help us get through this game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
So here's the thing about Notre Dame's offense. It comes at you from everywhere and every way. Shooting 41% on threes, scoring more than 20 fast break points per game, shooting 73% on shots at the rim, all best in D1 this season. And the 41% from downtown, by the way, is on pace to be its best in over 20 seasons. And when we were just talking about Georgia Amore and you were saying it's really all on her, Olivia Miles certainly has help. But really, Niele Ivey, what does she have at her disposal?
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest differences, right? You talk about Georgia Amore being the sole focus of that Kentucky team. Notre Dame is a Final Four team because they have a pro point guard and they have a ton of weapons, and that Niele Ivey has in her
She got too much
bag.
in her bag.
Too much in her bag. The bag is full, the bag is heavy, but she carries it very well. And let's talk about these strengths for Niele Ivey, Olivia Miles. One of my favorite things is her footwork. Watch her come off this ball screen. The defense is going to switch, and now she's got a big on her. We talk about her passing. Watch her feet. She's going to hop off her left foot to get into her jump shot. That is not easy. That takes reps. That takes practice. Now watch it in full speed. The way Olivia Miles can create with the ball in her hands. Whoop, whoop. Just a little side step, and she gets her shot off so quickly. She can also do that with the pass. Watch Hannah Hidalgo. It's red. Now she's green. Picks up speed. It's her change of speed that makes Hannah Hidalgo so tough. Quick spin. If she doesn't shoot, she has Sonia Citron on the backside, but she's so quick she can elevate and score always.
And one thing about Niele Ivey's teams, especially with Sonia Citron, I think she's a perfect example of this. They have such great basketball IQ. Here she's calling the play Chin. Chin is basically Princeton action where you can go one-on-one and attack, or you can just space and score. And again, 3 people are watching the ball handler, and instead there's a drift up. Such a pro move to know the awareness. And then, of course, just getting into her bag, unselfish basketball. And then here's the cut. Notre Dame is lethal when it comes to backdoor. Just a pass on time, on target, and that's how Sonia's been able to score. But don't sleep on her 3 as well. And Liatu King has been just huge for them as well. I mean, look at how tough she is. 2 defenders in the paint, it does not matter. First of all, look at the pump fake. She takes a power dribble, goes into the body, pump fakes, steps through to get the window that is so small to finish. So again, she's got multiple players on inside and out that are in her bag, and that's why this is the #1 team now in the nation.
A warning from the good sis Erica Badu, Niele. You gonna hurt your back carrying all them bags like that. You see Olivia Miles, or Hannah Hidalgo rather, getting ready. We are getting ready as well. And you know what? We're gonna make an official announcement right here. College Game Day is headed to South Bend. We will be there next Sunday for #1 Notre Dame taking on Louisville. First time the Women's College Game Day bus is rolling into South Bend. We cannot wait to see you, the atmosphere, the tradition. We are so ready. So join us live next Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern. All right, don't go anywhere because our picks are coming up next. Will we bounce back from last week? Because last week was trash. And will someone pick the Wolfpack to upset the Irish?
Let's see.
Who's going to do it?
Who's going to do it?
I'll pick an upset. We should pick an upset.
Look, the vibes here
one of us has to pick an upset.
All right, I'll pick an upset.
Okay.
College Game Day is covered by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And we are getting ready for tip here from NC State. But a reminder, we've got a full men's college basketball slate for you as well, starting on Monday, 7 Eastern on ESPN, a triple header. I'm looking at you, North Carolina, taking on Florida State to start off the night. But let's get ready as we count down to tip-off, brought to you by Wendy's. Don't forget to order your delivery before game time. And we are getting ready to do what we always do. 8 minutes from tip here between #1 Notre Dame and #13 NC State. Notre Dame with an opportunity to clinch the regular season title in the ACC with a win today. Shall we do some picks? Brought to you by our friends at Intuit QuickBooks. And we'll start with a ranked matchup that we mentioned as well. TCU taking on West Virginia. I'll start here. TCU, perfect this season at home, but West Virginia has the most efficient defense in D1. And you gave me this note, 14 straight games with at least 10 steals. So in the interest of all of us trying to choose an upset here today, I'm going to go West Virginia on the road with the upset.
And we should note and give credit because we haven't talked about the Connecticut Huskies, but they're who has inspired us to pick upsets. Let's just go ahead and make that very clear.
They put us to shame.
We're all going to pick one. You chose West Virginia. I think TCU is going to get this one at home with Sedona Prince on the inside.
Yeah, they win by a margin of 29 points per game at home, so I'm sticking with TCU as well.
All right, LSU and Kentucky. We just talked about Georgia Amore getting the load share and the lion's share of what they do. I just think they've got a three-headed monster in LSU. We mentioned it. I'm going with the Tigers here.
Yeah, one of two trios averaging 16 points per game. I'm sticking with LSU as well.
Okay, if the interest of picking upsets, the one thing Kentucky does extremely well, one of the best in the country, is shoot threes. If they can hit threes, that's not something LSU does extremely well. LSU only makes 5 a game. And if Georgia Amore's teammates step up around her, Kentucky pulls off the upset.
There were so many caveats there. But you know what? UConn shot the lights out of the gym last week.
What was the difference?
And that's why.
AZ Fudd, three-point shooting, got it done against South Carolina. It can happen.
Big facts.
Hands
All right.
full, though. Hands full. Got her hands full.
Now it's time to pick this one as we close in on tip, this ranked matchup here. Got a few more minutes here. In fact, before we pick this, just give me a couple of things that you're going to be watching for that you think could decide this.
To me, I think Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles get celebrated a lot, from scoring to defense, but someone that has really had a great season, Sonia Citron. She's, again, like I mentioned, on draft boards, potentially even going number 3 in the upcoming draft. And it's because not only the last 4 games has she been averaging, she's been on fire, 18 points per game, but she always takes on a very difficult defensive matchup, especially on the wing. So I love what she's done so far for the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, Sonia Citron's biggest strength is that she has no weaknesses. There really are no holes in her game. She does everything well. She's so solid. The biggest thing for me, talk about LSU in transition. They're extremely great in transition. That's what Kentucky has to deal with. NC State has to deal with Notre Dame in transition times 10. Notre Dame is an incredible transition team. If NC State can score, they can set up their defense. So it's twofold. NC State's got to figure out a way to score, set up their defense, and slow Notre Dame down. In Notre Dame's game against Duke, the second half, they got stops, they got out in transition, and Notre Dame blasted Duke in that second half.
Something's got to give here. NC State only turns the ball over 12 times. Notre Dame averages 11 steals per game. Certainly we're going to see a ball protection, something they can do. And Notre Dame's also holding their conference opponents to just 58 points per game. That is the reason, as we get ready for our picks, that I'm going to go with Notre Dame to win this one on the road.
Yeah, I mean, we talked briefly, too, about Leah King and the inside. We haven't even gotten into the inside presence. I know Notre Dame is all about their backcourt, but they've got weapons on the inside and outside. I'm going Notre Dame.
Okay, you're going Notre Dame. You know what? The Wolfpack, they have bark, but they also have bite. But unfortunately, there's somebody that has literally fight in their name. I'm doing it again. We're sweeping. I am going with Notre Dame.
And especially after the great hospitality that this place has showed us. In fact, they painted our pictures on the Freedom Walkway. The art students here, as you can see here, painted a mural and painted our faces just to commemorate College Game Day being here. So there we are. Drea, it looks just like you.
Wow, beautiful. It's the middle part for me.
Yes, the baby hairs. They did the baby hairs and all. That does it for us here at College Game Day. We will see you next week at South Bend. We'll actually see you at halftime. Shout out to everybody at NC State for an amazing show.
The fans out early this morning, 2 hours to tip, and lined up around the block, ready for game day, ready for action between number 1 Notre Dame and number 13 NC State here at Reynolds Coliseum in Raleigh, North Carolina, where Notre Dame is led by that young woman, Hannah Hidalgo, who shines brightest when the lights are brightest. As we welcome you to the ACC on ESPN, an electric atmosphere at Reynolds Coliseum, and big stakes in the ACC. Notre Dame wins today, and they clinch a regular season title of the conference. As we welcome you courtside, hey everybody, Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. So happy to be with you this Sunday afternoon on ESPN. Rebecca, the atmosphere here is amazing, and the show on the floor should be as well. Notre Dame, #1 team in the country, and they don't just have a productive backcourt, they have a dynamic and electrifying one with Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles.
The most fun backcourt to watch in the country because of how they play and how they work well off of one another. You never know what they're going to do. How about over the head, right on the money from Hidalgo to Miles. They are dynamic scorers. Hannah Hidalgo second in the nation in points per game, and Olivia Miles, the flair with which she passes the basketball. Do not take your eyes off of her. She can score as well. And then you add the complimentary piece of Sonia Citron to the mix. Watch out for the Notre Dame backcourt.
Last 4 games, 18 points on 65% shooting for Citron. Meanwhile, for NC State, they have some really talented guards as well.
They play a 4-guard lineup, and all 4 of those guards average in double figures. But in this matchup, keep your eyes on Isaiah James and Sanaya Rivers. They really can create for themselves off the bounce. These 2 young women will need a big game in order to pull off the upset against the Irish.
For a little more on James, let's send things over to another Hall of Famer, Holly Rowe.
Well, Rebecca, they are poised to step up. They were so disappointed how they played against North Carolina in a loss last week that the captains on this team got together and said, we have to be different. So this week they've been dialed in. Isaiah said, I am ready to be that leader and step up. And she's done it with words, but also actions. In 5 home games here, she's averaging almost 24 points per game, shooting 55% from the field. So Isaiah knows she has to be the person that leads the way. When I talked to her this morning at shoot-around, she said, we have to come with poise, with confidence, but a sense of urgency. We've got to come with heart today.
All right, Holly, looking forward to getting this one started. Taking a look at the starting lineups for Notre Dame. You know, it's not just Hidalgo, Miles, and Citron. Leah King has been terrific. Maddie Westbeld back healthy. A strong front court for the Irish as well. And for NC State, Zoe Brooks, Madison Hayes, the other guards joining James and Rivers. And then Tilda Trieger, who could shoot it at 6'6" at the 5. A beautiful arena and a jam-packed crowd. Awesome edition of Game Day, and now the action begins. NC State and Notre Dame, number 13 against number 1. Here we go.
See Notre Dame starting out in a man-to-man. The guards' primary responsibilities keep the NC State guards in front of them. They're so good penetrating off the bounce.
Rivers pull-up is off, and here comes Hidalgo. Hidalgo can't hit the 3, knocked out of bounds. Westmore leading NC State, Niele Ivey for Notre Dame. Notre Dame a 19-game winning streak, their longest since the 15-16 season. And NC State with the longest active home winning streak in the ACC. They have won 19 straight in this building. Knocked away by Hidalgo. Westbeld flings it back to her, and Hannah Hidalgo is on the board.
And that's Westmore's number 1 key for his team, was to take care of the basketball. There's no team better than Notre Dame getting out in terms of fast break. They lead the nation 20 fast break points per game.
And Hannah Hidalgo is number 1 individually in fast break points per game. As Zoe Brooks knocks in the jumper.
That's what NC State's guards can do, is score off the bounce, whether it's mid-range or 3. Much more than just a catch-and-shoot kind of team.
Here's Citron. King in the mid-range, rims off. Brooks flings it across, Trieger connects!
Tilda Trieger very capable and willing to take that shot.
So is Olivia Miles, who responds.
Trieger on the season only 27% from there. Olivia Miles a little bit better than that.
43% for Miles. Had been under 25% in her collegiate career prior to this season, but Miles has really added that consistently to the repertoire. Here's Hayes off on her 3, and the box out from Westbeld springs Hidalgo. Hidalgo veering, pulling, can't hit. Rebound King, one of the best rebounders in the country, with another chance here. Wrestled away, and James comes up with it for the Wolfpack. Isaiah James will fire and hit.
Isaiah James can be so hot, and you just saw it there. Quick trigger, can do that in transition or in the half-court sets. So important to NC State and their success.
Miles, not that time.
Isaiah James, we talked about their guards and their ability to step into their own shot. That time, just a little bit to the right for the lefty.
You have 5 potential first-round picks in this year's WNBA draft on the floor in this game. Sanaya Rivers, Citron, James, Westbeld, Olivia Miles. Leah King getting some love too, the way she's playing this season. As Trieger puts it in. Good start for NC State. Miles has the pocket picked. Rivers flings it ahead, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch to Hidalgo.
Sanaya Rivers has got long arms and quick hands, and she can be a menace on the defensive end of the floor. You don't see this very often. The pick of Olivia Miles, Ryan, it's so important when you have a crowd like NC State has to have a big start and keep them engaged.
They've done it early. James trying to work Hidalgo. James floats it in. A 12-5 lead for NC State against number 1 Notre Dame. A 7-0 run for the Wolfpack. Miles pull-up is good.
Just a little pick and roll, and NC State trying to fight over that, but Olivia Miles so good in the mid-range.
And now King comes up with a steal on a telegraph pass, lays it in just like that. 4 straight from Notre Dame. Zoe Brooks will pull off. Trieger the rebound. Another chance for NC State as Trieger gets it out to James. James cutting through. Lost it. I think it was Hidalgo again who got a hand on it. Hidalgo veering through traffic. Unable to finish, but gets the whistle. And Hannah Hidalgo is going to shoot 2.
You see how explosive Notre Dame can be going end to end. We saw in the previous possession with Leah King just getting the pick and easy inside. That time Hannah Hidalgo with the in and out dribble, getting the touch in the paint.
And there's been several possessions already defensively for Hidalgo, Rebecca, where we have seen her get a hand on a ball, just deflect something slightly. I mean, she is one of the peskiest defenders in the country, averages nearly 4 steals per game.
She's the most disruptive defender in all of women's college basketball because of all the ground she covers on the defensive end. It's not just on her player, it's everyone has to be aware of where Hannah Hidalgo is defensively.
And it's been so interesting talking with Niele Ivey throughout the last couple of years about how, because of that, Hidalgo's teammates had to learn and adjust to defending behind her because she's unconventional with the way she roams and recovers.
Notre Dame now in a 2-3 zone.
James, mid-range off, King the rebound. Leah King, 11th in the country in rebounds per game at 10.7. Here's Hidalgo, gets denied by Trieger.
Trieger has had a great start on both ends to this game.
Rivers kicks it, catch fire, and a foul or rejection?
Hannah Hidalgo, block shot.
Yep.
And all of her 5'6" glory coming over there to save an open look at a 3.
Zamaria Jones, the freshman, was lining it up. She's only 5'7", but Hidalgo got to it.
You lose the glory once you get taller than 5'6".
That's the glory line right there.
Glory line.
James making it rain. 8 in the first for Isaiah James. Here's Citron driving it inside, denied by Rivers, knocks it away and controlled by Jones. Here is Rivers slicing into the paint. Citron returns the favor.
Length on length.
Citron kicks it. Hidalgo connects on a 3.
Again, Notre Dame's biggest success has been when they've been able to push pace, whether it's been transition or like that one in the secondary offense.
7 in the quarter for Hannah Hidalgo. 15-14, NC State leads it. Trying to break the zone, they do it nicely.
Sweet spot of the zone is right where you see that ACC logo in the paint.
Madison Hayes hits the jumper. Miles thought about pulling. Bounces it inside. Carlin in off the bench, setting the screen for Hidalgo. Hidalgo gets blocked from behind, controlled by Rivers.
You see coming up the floor how Hannah Hidalgo was bouncing behind Rivers to see if she had any angle to tip the ball.
James leaning, doesn't get the roll. King the rebound and the push ahead. It's Citron with Hidalgo. Hidalgo lays it in, plus the foul. Hannah Hidalgo a flex and a chance for three.
I want to see some glorious 5-6 action, and here she comes down the floor, absorbs the contact, flips it up with her offhand. We see a Hannah Hidalgo.
Well, Hannah Hidalgo in the art of the steal, a lot of components. How about anticipation? Yeah, she anticipates, turns it into a steal. What about trapping? About as good as any guard in the country at that. Stripping the ball, oh yeah, that's also in the repertoire. And then the pickpocket. Nobody's safe around Hannah Hidalgo. She'll get in there, snare it away. It's why she averages 4 steals a game.
Look at Hannah Hidalgo's eyes here. She is ready to pounce, and the basketball is her prey. Weaving behind, trying to figure out if there's a way for her to poke it out. She didn't get a steal there, but that's what she does all game long.
She's been credited for 1 steal already in this first, as a couple other deflections. Hidalgo, the leading scorer, with 9 points. Isaiah James leads the way with 8 for NC State. By the way, that 9th point for Hannah Hidalgo, her 600th of the season. First Notre Dame player ever to have 600 in both their freshman and sophomore seasons.
How beautiful is Sanaya Rivers' mid-range pull-up when she can get it to fall like that. True jump shot, elevation on it.
Westbeld hands it off to Hidalgo. Hidalgo has the size, or Westbeld has the size on Brooks.
Wow, Brooks is battling though, Ryan.
Miles fires, can't hit, and Brooks the rebound then.
Outstanding toughness from Zoe Brooks defensively that last possession.
Here's Hayes through the right side of the lane, lays it in.
So Notre Dame has the size advantage with Westbeld on one end. NC State has the quickness advantage on the other.
Hidalgo's floater is true. 11 for Hidalgo, who also plays at her best in these kind of games on major network television, which we at ESPN consider ourselves that. This season, she has averaged over 26 points per game, over 5 rebounds, just under 6 assists, while shooting at near 50% from the floor. All deflected fortuitously for Notre Dame into the arms of Carlin.
What a lucky bounce. Trigger had her hands up, which is what you're supposed to do running back in defensive transition, but she get the little hockey assist, or the assist there.
One-point NC State lead. It's been an outstanding opening quarter. Here's Jones. The freshman looking for some room, and a whistle will go against Notre Dame.
Let's go back to that battle we saw inside from Zoe Brooks at 5'10", going against Westbeld. Look at her just trying to keep her out of the paint, working, not using her hands, absorbing it with her body, and then when the shot went up, an outstanding box out as well. Really well done by the undersized forward on that end of the floor, that last possession.
Yeah, it's 5'10" on 6'3", getting the job done. That foul was on Olivia Miles, her first. Both teams have shot it very well in the quarter. Rivers, 5 to shoot. Spinning, lost it. 2 to shoot, and a held ball. Possession arrow belongs with Notre Dame. Hey, Women's Hoops continues on ESPN all day. Coming up next, UNC taking on Louisville, who will definitely be ranked come tomorrow after the week they've had. And then Flau'jae Johnson, number 7 LSU, square off against number 14 Kentucky.
I'm going to revisit that jump ball. If you're Notre Dame, pull your hands away. Let the shot clock go down. You're going to get the ball back and not waste the jump ball possession.
Hidalgo off on that one. Prosper knocks it out of bounds. NC State ball. Yeah, good point.
You know, Rivers' back was to the basket. They weren't going to get a shot up. Just pull your hands away. Let the shot clock go down.
Remember, we saw Nafisa Collier be so smart about that at different moments in the WNBA Finals.
Yes.
Here's Brooks. Brooks turns the corner and slips it in.
Try to play a zone to limit dribble penetration, and Brooks just did a great job of using the baseline and getting inside anyway.
Shot clock turned off. Hidalgo directing traffic. 3 seconds left in the quarter. Hidalgo has to hoist. Gets denied by Jones.
They want to see if a foul occurred before the clock ran out.
I believe you're right, Rebecca.
That looked by the clean eye to be a clean block, but it'll be interesting to see it here again.
I think the shot clock is expired anyway. I mean, the game clock is expired anyway.
Expiration of time.
All right, so a foul was called on Jones. I think the clock runs out before. Yeah.
Yes, agree.
I don't think you're going to get free throws here. I think you're just going to get the end of the quarter. And no foul on Jones.
Look how clean they played in the first quarter. Only a total of 3 fouls called. No surprise with NC State because they do have the lowest
There's no
foul rate in all of women's college basketball.
That's right. No foul there. NC State up 3 at the end of 1. Holly Rowe talks with Niele Ivey when we come back. Her team #1 in the nation. Start of the second quarter in Raleigh, NC State, a 3-point lead on Notre Dame moments ago. Holly Rowe caught up with Notre Dame head coach Niele Ivey.
Well, Coach Ivey, dribble penetration, they're getting downhill on you guys defensively. What do you want to change there? I see you're playing some zone.
Yeah, we're just trying to mix it up. You know, their guards do a great job of getting downhill. We got to have better plugs in our shifts, so we got to make sure that they're seeing more bodies right now.
Tell me what you want to get into offensively. You've done great off of deflections and transition off of steals. What else do you have to get to?
Yeah, well, we're better in transition, so we got to get stops and runs. But I want to get for us to get downhill and find the mismatches.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Niele Ivey's team did have an 8-0 advantage in fast break points in that first quarter. Hannah Hidalgo with 11 points. But NC State, the 3-point lead after 1. Notre Dame clinches the regular season ACC title with a win today. NC State second in the conference right now at 13-2. NC State has won 19 straight at home. Notre Dame has won 19 straight overall for the first time since the 2015-16 season. Mario Jones gives it up. Here's Brooks. Brooks, hoist, can't hit. Rebound underneath, and a foul is going to go against Notre Dame as Lorena Awu came up with the rebound.
Ryan, we're going into our manager spotlight for the game for NC State. This is Ethan Fancher, a 4-year manager and practice player. I'm noticing a theme this year. He's a communications major, wants to be a coach. We've seen all season long, that's one of the keys. You want to be a coach, get on a really good coaching staff, and that's what he's doing, sitting on the NC State bench right now.
Mom Kathy was one of Coach Moore's first recruits back in the day. Meanwhile, that foul is called on Isaiah James. That'll be her first. Hidalgo finds Citron, who's tripped up, and Owu will be called to that foul.
Trying to run a back screen for Sonia Citron going towards the basket. She has such great versatility. We've seen all season long her ability to shoot the three, make the backdoor cut. They're trying to use her length to get her a good look near the basket.
One of the reasons why she is a projected first-round pick in this year's WNBA draft. Westbeld gets denied by Hayes after a good delivery from King.
Well, you heard Neil Ivey tell Holly Rowe we want to attack the mismatches, and so they're trying to go inside because right now Notre Dame has the size advantage, especially with Westbeld.
Here's King. There's the speed advantage for King.
She's got really good finishing ability around the rim, too, with the spin that she can put on the basketball.
Hidalgo, there's that trap coming with Westbeld, and Hidalgo comes up with a steal. Flings it ahead with King to Miles. Can't finish. King on the glass. Unable to finish the first time and the second.
You had two Notre Dame players, Ryan, who did not cross midcourt. Wonder if there's some fatigue happening.
James gets tied up with foul.
Last couple of possessions, Sonia Citron was face guarding Isaiah James, and I couldn't tell if Notre Dame was in any kind of a junk defense because James stayed on the same side of the floor. She wasn't moving or cutting. She's going to really have to set some screens, move without the ball if they're going to continue to face guard her.
First foul on King. Here's James. There is Citron. Looking to hang with James.
But see, same side of the floor.
Yeah, and
just floating.
Moving, yep. Here's Jones. Pulls up, can't hit. Miles the rebound. Miles gets it ahead to Hidalgo. Pull up three is good. Hidalgo and Miles so dangerous in transition.
We've seen Olivia Miles throw so many fancy passes. That was just a fundamental, beautiful bounce pass to Hannah Hidalgo.
14 for Hidalgo, and Notre Dame jumps in front. Brooks looking to respond, cannot. Owu the rebound, couldn't finish it, and it's out of bounds to Notre Dame.
Bounce pass, there it comes. Look at, she just puts the right amount of spin on it. Lands softly in Hannah Hidalgo's hands. Yeah, she takes a dribble, but the catch is so important when it leads you into the shot.
And we always love the phrase Neil Ivey used with us last year, transition is Olivia Miles' playground. You see it on plays like that. Hidalgo 10 plus points in 60 straight, tied for the second longest streak in Notre Dame history. Here's Miles, pull-up jumper, off, rebound, going the other way as the foul is called on Koval. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Olivia Miles has talked about looking up to WNBA guard Chelsea Gray and her magic and flair for the pass, and she actually got to meet her on their trip to Miami just a few days ago. Chelsea Gray with this tweet, Olivia Miles was in the crowd tonight, so I was going to try that transition between the leg pass. Olivia was very well known for her flair here in the college game. I love that two of the best passers in the game got the link up.
I love that, Holly. Two just electrifying passers as Rivers finishes on the interior. 4 points for Sanaya Rivers, tied at 25.
Last possession, NC State trapped Hannah Hidalgo off the ball screen. It was really effective trying to limit her and her vision to the basket.
Hidalgo back ironing off. Rivers the rebound. Here's James. Looking to take Citron. James flips it in.
She's legit, Ryan Rucco. She is legit. I am going to enjoy watching her this coming summer in the W.
Isaiah James with 10 in this first half. Westmore talked to us today about, hey, it's almost March. We saw what Isaiah James did in the month of March last year. It's just incredible in NC State's run to the Final Four. Rivers able to secure the rebound.
23 points a game on 50% from three to remind everyone what she did in the tournament a year ago.
Owu hands off. Rivers will take the mid-range, can't hit. Miles the rebound, look at a push for Notre Dame. Wants the screen from Koval. Miles, teardrop is good.
She's been really good coming off of that screen as NC State has to fight over because Olivia Miles is such a good three-point shooter. She's taking one extra dribble and getting that mid-range look.
7 for Miles now. Miles with a couple of assists as well. Tied at 27. Zoe Brooks meets Koval. Looked like there could have been a foul, no call, crowd upset. Miles, what a dish! Hidalgo unable to finish after a beautiful get-ahead bounce pass from Miles. James off.
Really good contest by Olivia Miles on James' shot that time.
Here's Hidalgo. Hidalgo spinning, can't bank it in. Pace really picking up. Rivers, no. Awu, yes.
So much of Hannah Hidalgo's success is with pace and pushing and being fast. Right now, a couple times I think she's been too fast.
Miles, the silencer. 10 points for Olivia Miles.
See how she turned and looked at the crowd. Right.
Jones, too much on it. Here comes Citron. Miles again, no. And knocked out of bounds, and it will stay with Notre Dame.
Olivia Miles is shooting 43% from 3 on the season. Hits a big one there. Cries the crowd and lets them know about it.
That is must-see TV.
Give her the ball!
Are you kidding me? And it's a tie game.
He dreamed it! I can't believe what I am witnessing.
The streak lives. Beats it for the win. Well, the ACC tournament begins March 5th. Take a look at the All-State Tournament Predictor. And this is the odds right now for ACC teams to get a top 4 seed, meaning they would host for the first and second rounds. Notre Dame, it's almost a guarantee. Duke, NC State, UNC, all with outstanding chances at a top 4 seed as well.
I want an all-state life predictor.
For what? Like how many years you have left?
No. Although that feels sort of like an age joke.
Yeah.
No, just like other things, you know? Am I going to get a good spot in the parking lot of the grocery store?
Okay, good. I'm glad it's things that are less heavy.
Yeah. No, that's a weight joke.
Yes. Hayes has it deflected by Citron, unable to save it. Ends up with Kai Crutchfield, former star of NC State, sitting courtside, doing media work here in Raleigh. There's Kai. She hangs out with us sometimes before the games. Wonderful young woman. Corner 3 is good. Zoe Brooks.
Saad Prosper just shakes her head knowing she's got to get out on Brooks in that corner. You cannot leave her alone.
Westbeld, good position on Brooks and lays it in.
They were not able to get Westbeld the ball in the first quarter when we saw a similar size advantage. Well done and intentional on that possession.
5 ties already in this game. Here's Hayes against the zone, and nice job standing up on the interior by Carlin.
You might want to put Rivers back in the middle of that zone because she has better length.
Prosper can't finish it. Rivers comes away with it. Rivers with great speed. James fakes the 3, gives it back. Rivers connects. Rivers just 27% from 3 on the season as Miles launched a logo bomb. but Rivers has been shooting it a little better of late. James, oh my! Crowd wanted that one. So did SportsCenter. Citron, nice little hezzy and the reverse. And how fun is this first half? Back and forth, the pace incredible.
High-level basketball, good shot making, just competing at both ends of the floor. Love it.
Citron's first bucket of the game. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Lazy cross-court pass. Westbeld off the steal. Westbeld lays it in.
I think you see some fatigue, Ryan, because of that the fast-paced nature of this game.
One of the things Westmore talks about with Zoe Brooks is she can get a little loose with the basketball. Feels like she has over the last couple games, did there. Brooks, nice look that time. And Trieger lays it in.
It started with NC State having a screen at the top of the zone.
Tilda Trieger with 7 points in this first half. She averages just 6 per game.
And she's been rock solid.
Freshman out of Sweden. Citron flings it back. Westbeld dumps it in. Carlin, no. Rebound, Prosper. Prosper on the floor for it. And a held ball, possession arrow, stays with Notre Dame as Hidalgo gets ready to check back in. And here's our ESPN Big Monday men's triple header. You've got North Carolina and Florida State, 7 Eastern, then Houston and Texas Tech. Finally, Kansas and Colorado face off to finish the night at 11 Eastern. Miles on the attack, gets denied. Sanaya Rivers having none of it.
Olivia Miles, because of the extension on her layups, does not often get her shot blocked. Sanaya Rivers, though, is an elite, different kind of athlete.
Brooks puts it down in a crowd, and a held ball. NC State has the possession arrow. And Wes Moore is pleading with Zoe Brooks to be more mindful with the basketball.
Which one was that when we look at the art of the steal? With Hannah Hidalgo, just the eyes always racing, looking to see where she can be disruptive defensively.
7 steals for Notre Dame in this game. Brooks. Off to Rivers in the corner. Hayes. You bet!
Against the zone, the corner has been good to NC State.
Hidalgo can't hit. 4 seconds left. Rivers flings it, but a little too long for Hayes, who ends up with the cheerleaders.
Just look, the slip screen, a little dribble penetration, popping out to the right corner. A good look at a 3. NC State's done that effectively.
King gets it off, and that'll do it for the first half. NC State with a 4-point lead. First time Notre Dame has trailed at the half this season. Holly Rose standing by with Zoe Brooks.
Well, Zoe, I know you and Hannah Hidalgo go way back to your AAU Jersey days. What's it like out here? You guys are just going head to head.
It's great. We're both competitors. We both want to win really bad, and we're going to play until the end.
What stands out about the way your team is working together right now?
We're moving the ball really well, getting open shots. We're going to hit some more in the second half.
Thanks so much.
Well, Zoe Brooks and NC State a 4-point lead at the half. After the break, we'll get you to Elle Duncan, Andrea Carter, Janae Agwumike for our halftime report. Game day got it started, and the action has lived up to the hype thus far. It's NC State who leads by 4.
This is the beginning. This is the beginning.
Welcome to your halftime report, Isaiah James. going off. The layup. She's got 10 in the first half as NC State looks to pull a huge upset, up 4 over #1 Notre Dame. As we say hello from the courtside here at Reynolds Coliseum, I'm Elle Duncan alongside my sisters from another mister, the Hall of Famer from Stanford, Chinea Gumake, our Swiss Army knife and former Lady Vol, and Andrea Carter. Yo.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, yeah. Yes.
Yo, this game though.
These are some bad women.
Like the battle
in the best way.
I mean, it's just, this is what we try to promise and what we sell, and we are seeing a heavyweight match. And similarly to last week when we were at South Carolina, and we all picked the favorite in South Carolina to win.
Yeah.
We also did the same thing for Notre Dame, but unlike what South Carolina was able to do, NC State doing something they didn't.
Yeah, so when we talked about South Carolina against UConn, all we talked about was how South Carolina had home court advantage.
Sure.
South Carolina hadn't lost at home. South Carolina's crowd was going to be in it. What did UConn come in and do? They snatched the home crowd right out of the equation by punching first. NC State, I don't know if they watched that game, but they look like they learned a lesson. NC State has kept the crowd engaged. NC State punched first. They threw the first punch, they punched hard, they were more physical, and the crowd is in it. This place is loud, this place is rocking. When you have home court, you've got to hold on to it, and NC State's done that.
At some points during this game, we could barely hear each other. We're sitting next to each other, but when the #1 team in the nation comes to town, you have to set the tone, and no one did that better than 10. 10 has 10, and I'm speaking of Isaiah James. Y'all, she is a bucket. I don't know if many people caught this. This was when the score was 5-5, 2 minutes into the game. Her teammates just said, it's okay. We're going to stay on the other side, and we're going to let you cook. Look how deep she's shooting the ball. Again, just being able to knock it down, crossover. You know, I always say good players have go-to moves. Great players have counter moves.
Yeah.
And in that last play, you saw her going up against Sonia Citron, who is no scrub defensively. So she's been able to take on any matchup and score for the Wolfpack.
She's so tough, and we've talked about the WNBA prospects in this game. Isaiah James talked to some WNBA execs. She is one of them because of her ability to go on a heater.
Yeah.
She can get hot and on
we
fire.
saw that last year.
Sanaya
for a whole
Rivers,
month.
I've been told, is a very intriguing WNBA prospect because of her athleticism, her ability to defend, and she needs to work on her three-point shot. But what have we seen her do already in this game?
Knock down one in
Knock
rhythm.
down a three. Yeah. We are seeing these players play their best against the #1 team, and there are scouts in the building.
I'm sorry. When we talk about getting everyone up out of their seats, typically it comes with three-pointers or twos. Sanaya Rivers did that right there, 10 feet away with her block on her defense.
Incredible.
That's why W scouts are excited about her.
It is. Okay, so they're doing fantastic, the home team, but it is still a 4-point game. So what's been working for Notre Dame?
Yeah, well, we have to talk about Hannah Hidalgo, right? Because whenever a team punches, usually Hannah Hidalgo is the one that punches back, and she has shown a lot of fight. She's played with energy on the offensive end, on the defensive end, whether it's getting steals, whether it's scoring. Her impact with their defense, even there on Isaiah James. She has the matchup with Isaiah James. Isaiah James is experienced. Isaiah James is a veteran, but Hannah Hidalgo plays with so much fight and tenacity. She's been able to knock down a couple threes. She's the leading scorer in the game with 14 points. There is a caveat, though, because Hannah Hidalgo's point of growth. That's a tough finish, but at times in this game, she has taken what I would consider bad shots. With NC State's defense, with the way they block shots, at times she's over-penetrated. She's their leading scorer, but shot selection for Notre Dame could improve in the second half.
And that's why you have Olivia Miles running the point, because I think she understands sometimes when to push the tempo and sometimes when to hit the brakes. But what I do love about this duo is that they're relentless, too. I mean, it's crazy. We talk about Hannah Hidalgo. She's answered, but so has Olivia Miles with some deep threes so far. And you know what's interesting? I watch football. Football season's over. We talk a lot about, in football, the middle eight, winning the last four and the first four of halves. And I thought that Notre Dame was going to come in with a flurry, but instead, NC State withstood their push.
You know what else we talk about with football, right? Everybody talks about like complementary football. You talk football all the time, right? Where everything complements each other. Notre Dame hasn't played complementary basketball in that they're not exactly scoring on the offensive. It's Hannah and Olivia. No one else has more than 5 points. NC State's got 5 players with at least 7 points. NC State has more balance. Notre Dame doesn't have balance offensively, and they're not getting stops.
And why do they not have balance offensively? It's because NC State has been playing with physicality. I mean, we looked at Zoe Brooks go out there and box out 6'3", 6'4". They're so committed to finishing possessions, getting rebounds, and that's why they can go.
But these two numbers, NC State, 49% from the field, 50% from three. If Notre Dame's going to do anything, it's going to turn their defense up so they can get out and
run. You know what's crazy? Sometimes, as players, you go into halftime, you're like, dang, that's the worst thing that can happen to you because it steals your momentum. We'll see if they're able to do that for 2 more quarters.
It is, because you're talking about an NC State team that's won 19 straight wins here at home and a Notre Dame team that is looking to clinch the regular season title with a win today. But
it's
again,
a game, y'all.
It's a game. All right, we are about 4 minutes from tip because while we're very excited for that game, Your feet should be where you are. We will be coming back
right here.
It's been a
Watch the celly.
fantastic
There's got to be a
play.
celly.
A 4-point game in Raleigh. NC State up over the #1 team in the country.
Well, back in Raleigh, Hannah Hidalgo 14 points in the first half to lead the way for Notre Dame. Olivia Miles doing her thing as well with 10 points, 3 assists. But NC State, every one of their starters has scored at least 7, and Isaiah James in double figures. It's NC State with a 4-point lead as we get ready to start the third quarter. Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. What an atmosphere here at Reynolds Coliseum, and what entertaining action in that first half.
What you would hope for in terms of basketball this time of year. Both teams scoring the ball well, doing it efficiently, high level of energy on the defensive end, crowd engaged. This has been spectacular.
A 40-36 lead for NC State, number 13 against number 1 Notre Dame. First time this season Notre Dame has trailed at the half. NC State's only home win against an AP number 1. You got to go back to 1978 against Wayland Baptist. Neil Ivey told us before the game this would be a good test today. Postseason type atmosphere as they prepare for March. Westbeld unable to hit the 3, getting a good look to begin this third. Rivers, pocket pass, Trieger stood up, and King comes back for the steal for Notre Dame. Here's Citron dishing it out, Miles wide open, doesn't get the 3 to drop.
That's a situation where NC State defense got lucky.
Zoe Brooks can't flip it in, wanted a whistle, did not get it. Here comes Miles with numbers. Miles accelerates, can't hook it in. Trieger the rebound.
Hayes is hurt on this end of the
Yes,
floor.
a lot of pain as Rivers reverses it in. Madison Hayes goes over to the front row, grabbing at her, look like lower left leg. That's a good sign at least as she jogs to the NC State bench. Right there just has King fall on that left ankle.
She looked like she was in a lot of pain when she went down.
Was played in 97 straight games, was honored after scoring a 1,000th career point before the game today. And so Hayes goes back to the locker room. We'll get an update as soon as we have one from Holly.
And not just scoring, she is a really good rebounding guard for NC State, averages 7 a game.
6-point NC State lead. Citron trying to work around Quigley, could not. King floats it up and in. Leah King has that touch in the mid-range. 6 points now.
So much of what King does can be quiet and under the radar in her role here with Notre Dame, but so impactful.
By the way, Devin Quigley, who just checked in for Hayes, did not play in that first half. James, oh yeah. 12 points for Isaiah James. Playing in front of a huge WNBA contingent here today. Scouts, coaches, front office members from several teams. Citron, oh what a move! Sonia Citron, pizza pies at home.
You saw it on the last possession as well. Sonia Citron, Notre Dame giving her an on-ball screen and letting her toggle back and forth, see if she can get an advantage. Last possession, Quigley did a terrific job. That time, Citron got her.
Here's Rivers. Oh, what a dish, and Trieger lays it in. Beautiful delivery from Sanaya Rivers. Out of bounds to NC State.
I've been really impressed with Sanaya Rivers and her ability to deliver the ball in the on-ball screen. 4th assist of the day, beautiful little pass to Trieger. We've also seen her, Ryan, get into the lane and find the pass on the weak side of the floor for 3-point shooters. Her game has really evolved from the point guard position.
9 points, 8 rebounds. Westbeld checks out. Isaac Carlin in for Notre Dame. James thought about the 3. James had it stripped by guess who? Hannah Hidalgo. Here's Citron lining it up. Can't hit the 3. Long rebound, James. James dishes, Rivers off on a three. Liatu King the board, and here comes Notre Dame with pace. Hidalgo lost the handle, spins around, can't hit. Carlin looking to flag it down, and does for Notre Dame. The crowd wanted a double dribble as Citron gets free for the lay.
Last couple of possessions, this has had a feel of a pickup game.
Yeah.
Going down, quick shot the other way. Now players catching their breath.
Zoe Brooks, nice look. Trieger gets denied by King. Here comes Liatu King. Hidalgo dumps it in. Carlin rejected by Trieger.
And that started with Sanaya Rivers coming over to help and making the shot be adjusted.
Here's Quigley. The freshman gives it up. Rivers zigzags and gets fouled. Free throws here for Sanaya Rivers. Be the first free throws of the game for NC State. Hey, tonight, the Eastern Conference leading Cavs host the Grizzlies. Then the Thunder travel to Minnesota to face off against the Timberwolves. Coverage tips. With NBA countdown at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Rivers hits the free throw. 67% on the season. And hits them both. Rivers just one of 4 D1 players averaging at least 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block. She has 11 points in this one. Carlin, way off. Madison Hayes back on the bench and getting ready to come back into the game. Holly, what you got?
Well, guys, as you can see, they have just heavily retaped her foot. She's coming back in now to a huge ovation. She's good to go. She's going to tough it out.
Thank you, Hal. NC State is 6-point lead on Notre Dame. Notre Dame has won 19 in a row. NC State has won 19 straight home games. James, step back three, partially blocked by Miles. Miles on the receiving end from Hidalgo, lays it in. 12 points for Olivia Miles. Brooks is fouled by Miles. And free throws here for Zoe Brooks as Miles picks up her second.
The connection between these two young women all season long has been top tier. This time it's Hidalgo to Miles. Ryan, remember coming into this season or in the off season, the question, can those two coexist and play well with one another? Sounds so absurd now.
It wasn't a question for very long. It took about one game.
It was answered quickly, yes.
Brooks now with 9. Hidalgo has gone a while since her last points. Citron, she got it.
She's gotten so comfortable stepping behind, and that one wasn't a 3, but with the defender getting caught on a screen, just stepping behind and looking for her shot.
6 in the quarter for Citron, who had just 2 in the first half. Here's Brooks. Trying to take Citron, bumps off her, and a travel. 11th turnover for NC State, but they have the 4-point lead midway through the third.
If you want some high-level basketball, you've come to the right place. Beautiful pass from Rivers to Trieger, and then you're gonna go under the screen, she's gonna juke you and get right by.
Well, we still have some terrific basketball to come your way. Number 9, UNC and Louisville coming up next on ESPN. And then Number 7 LSU, number 14 Kentucky after that. Pam Ward, Steph White have the first, and Beth Mullins and Debbie Antonelli follow that. Maria Gontaine getting ready to go.
Not for the announcers or the players, but what a great lazy Sunday.
Yeah.
For women's college basketball fans.
Awesome. Hang out, grab a mimosa, don't leave the couch. Hidalgo cutting through, gets fouled, and Hannah Hidalgo with a chance for her first points since the 8:18 mark of the second. And Hannah Hidalgo last season struggled shooting the basketball against NC State. Today has struggled shooting the basketball against NC State.
And Andrea Carter talked about that at halftime and how she has to have good shot selection. As effective as she is getting to the free throw line, great example of it right there. Get inside the paint, try to finish, get to the free throw line.
Holly?
Well, Hannah plays much bigger than her small frame. She grew up playing with 4 older brothers, and she told me earlier, you know, if I ever wanted to stay on the court and play pickup games with my brother, I had to be this player. I had to steal the ball. I had to go inside and try to finish against tougher opponents. There's so much of in her game that you can see because she played with those bigger brothers. Still lives in her today.
I love it, Hal, as King finishes after Hidalgo was scrappy on the offensive glass. Leah King, who averages a double-double, has 8 points, 7 rebounds. Notre Dame is pulled to within 1. Here's James. King comes up with a steal, 12th turnover for NC State. Citron lays it in, Notre Dame back in front. And Isaiah James is down. Looked like she might have gotten poked in the eye on that steal.
Let's talk about the versatility of Leah King. She switched out on James, was able to stay with her, even though she plays the forward position. Defensively, she has the mobility to stay. We'll get a chance to see if she did hit her in the face as she was trying to fight over. Oh,
yeah.
Head-to-head contact.
4 steals in the game for King. And then Hidalgo leading the break, and this is when Notre Dame is at their best.
Notre Dame with 19 fast break points on the day to only 7 for NC State.
And you hope Isaiah James is okay. She has been outstanding for NC State and is a critical piece.
And head-to-head contact hurts enough, but Leah King also has the face mask, yes.
Here's Rivers. Turning, can't bank it in. King the rebound, Citron running ahead.
But again, King's ability to switch out on an athletic guard.
And Citron finishes. Sonia Citron with 10 in the quarter.
Sonia Citron has looked like a woman on a mission here in the third, Ryan.
This is the largest lead for Notre Dame in this game.
What does Sonia Citron like to do, Ryan? Insist her way to the basket, as my favorite play-by-play guy says. She's just come out looking to score, whether it's been mid-range, you know, toggling screens, attacking the basket.
I remember talking with Wes Moore earlier. Citron was a huge focus for him because he thought you can easily forget about him. As Jones hits the 3, you can forget about a Citron, you can forget about a West Bell because you get so fixated on Hidalgo and Miles, and they're so capable, West Bell and Citron, of beating you themselves. 6 ties, 8 lead changes, huge 3 there from Jones. NC State navigating without Isaiah James for the moment. Hidalgo 3 to shoot, Miles 1 to shoot, Miles hoists it up, no.
That was a great possession of defense by NC State. How they handled Hannah Hidalgo in the on-ball screen toggling, guards fighting over. She's given so many people difficulties this year when she's able to get involved in the 2-man game.
Just the 4th turnover for Notre Dame. Rivers trying to work inside. Good D from Citron. Still time to operate for NC State. Brooks bodies in and finishes. Hidalgo jitters baseline and banks it home.
She's been effective here in this quarter when she's looked to attack.
And look to attack there and grab the basketball. Brooks stops, short, got it back, and gets fouled. And if it's King, it'll be number 3. Instead, it's Hidalgo, and it's her first.
So last 2 possessions, we saw Brooks go in, absorb the contact, and then on this end of the floor, Hidalgo goes in, gets the legs in the air, finishing. And then come down Brooks again, and instead of just trying to create the contact, pump fake, and then go up and get a cleaner look.
Brooks hits the first. Holly?
There's a little history of Zoe Brooks and Hannah Hidalgo. Goes all the way back to 6th grade when they were called the Splash Sisters, playing AAU basketball together in New Jersey. They were also McDonald's All-Americans together. They have played both with and against each other for the Philly Rise, the New Jersey Sparks. But my favorite story is they played against each other in high school. Zoe Brooks hit the game winner to beat Hannah Hidalgo's team in the state championship game. Oh yeah, there's some history there. And here comes Isaiah James, Band-Aid on the head, but looks like she's returning to the bench.
Outstanding stuff on both fronts. Thank you, Hal. Brooks diving in, doesn't get the whistle. Here comes Notre Dame.
The gymnastics.
Miles can't hit.
The gymnastics Wes Brooks is doing on the side.
Citron can't hit the 3. Westmore.
Coach Westmore. The gymnastics he's doing on the sideline when he's not getting the calls he thinks his team should get.
Hopping up and down. Feeling like there was a foul on that Zoe Brooks drive. Brooks off on the mid-range, and Miles secures it. Westbeld and Prosper getting ready to check in for Notre Dame. Crowd wanted to carry. Did not get it. NC State a 2-point lead.
Icing the ball screen.
Hidalgo banks it in, plus the foul.
You see Sanaya Rivers force up, icing the ball screen, trying to get Hannah Hidalgo to a baseline, but the help defense isn't quite there. What a tough finish. We see that time and time again with Hannah Hidalgo. Able to score with contact over bigger defenders, and then the little flex afterwards.
And the crowd in Westmore very upset because they felt Brooks received similar contact on the other end, did not get a whistle. Hidalgo, another 20-point game for Hannah Hidalgo. 10th lead change of the afternoon. Notre Dame by 1, about a 5-second difference game in shot clock. Rivers, out to Hayes. Rivers a 3, off. Hayes storms in, and a whistle on Madison Hayes. That'll be out of bounds off of her.
Got a chance to take another look at it.
I think it did last in Madison Hayes.
I agree. Tell you what, Ryan, if Sanaya Rivers can consistently, at a higher clip, make that 3-point shot, watch out.
That's going to be the question for her at the next level.
Yes.
Shot clock turned off. 3 seconds to go in the quarter. Miles dishes, didn't have time for it. And that'll do it for the third. Notre Dame a 1-point lead after 3. Holly will chat with Westmore coming up next. Fourth quarter action. Westmore, an extended conversation with the officials at the end of the third quarter. His team trails by 1 to begin the fourth. Moments ago, Holly Rowe caught up with the NC State head coach.
Well, Coach Moore, you're having a long conversation with the officials right there. What information are you seeking and trying to give?
Well, down here they're saying that they're straight up. And down there, I thought we were straight up, and they called a foul. So I just want consistency. That's all, just consistency. You're going to call a foul there, call one here. If not, let it go.
Thank you, Coach. I see Isaiah James is ready to check back into this game. What do you need from her and the rest of your team to close out this fourth quarter?
Isaiah's a big-time player, big stage, so hopefully she goes step up like she usually does and makes a big plays for us.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, Holly.
Well, Westmore's team down 1 to begin the fourth quarter against number 1 Notre Dame. Sonia Citron, a massive third quarter, put up 10 points in the frame.
Sonia Citron only with 3 field goal attempts in the entire first half, and then in the third quarter, she just got a bee in her bonnet and started driving to the basket, looking for her offense, leaking out in transition as well. She was just seeking the bucket, and it was what Notre Dame needed from her in that third.
A bee in the bonnet will do that for sure.
Do people still wear bonnets
I don't
anywhere?
think so. It's been a while.
Maybe because they kept getting bees in them.
Start of the fourth quarter. Notre Dame 58, NC State 57. Here we go. It has been an electric atmosphere at Reynolds Coliseum as Miles comes up with a steal. Hidalgo dashing ahead, flags it down. Miles redirects to King, couldn't lay it in. King able to finish on the second attempt. 10 points for Leatou King, who has 9 rebounds as well. Averages a double-double. Her first season with Notre Dame after a successful career at Pitt. James back in. James pull up. Back iron it off. Long rebound. Westbeld comes up with it. Miles with numbers. Kind of split the difference between Citron and Hidalgo, and now it's Brooks coming the other way, lays it in. And the LIV not pleased with that last trip down the floor. Miles had Hidalgo and Citron, but tossed it between both of them.
And I don't think Hidalgo knew that it was for her.
Miles turns the corner, can't finish. Krieger able to defend it cleanly.
Both of these teams being a little bit more intentional in their quarter court offense here in the fourth.
Well, Hidalgo right up on Krieger, denied that dish to Brooks. Rivers, the crossover. Krieger, a 3. You bet! NC State back in front, 11th lead change. Krieger with 12. King, no. Brooks gets inside, dishes out. Hayes a 3. Too much on it. Miles, no look. Citron with Rivers on her now. Citron's leaner. Airballs it.
We talked about Krieger and her ability to make threes. It starts with a dribble penetration from Sanaya. Rivers finds her big 6'6" post player for the open look.
You talked about it, Rebecca. Only 27% on the season, but capable of so much more as Rivers turns it over. Westbeld lines it up, short. NC State, 14 turnovers in this game. Notre Dame with just 6. Rivers working behind Krieger. Rivers, tough shot. Good D there from Notre Dame.
She didn't see that Krieger behind her was wide open. The big girl had just hit a 3. Get her the ball.
Hidalgo veers in. Can't finish, but gets the whistle, and Hannah Hidalgo is going to shoot 2.
What was the yoga pose she struck after she landed on the ground? Is that an act? Does that one have a name?
I'm not sure it does.
We've seen her. She's been so good here in the second half, attacking the basket. Now, wait, sit up. It should, Ryan.
Holly, what's the name?
That is the sitting Zen.
Okay.
That's not true. I just made that up. That was just her moment. This is actually something she's worked on all season. She gets really hyped up and gets worked up. And so we will see her at different times on the bench close her eyes, take a big breath. You saw her gather her breath there. That is Hannah trying to calm herself down in these big moments.
Thank you, Ha. Well, calmed herself down to hit both free throws right into a raucous student section. And you could see just the beautiful view in the architecture here at Reynolds Coliseum. which was modeled after Duke indoor, of course now Cameron indoor. Brooks connects, a long two for Zoe Brooks. 17 for Brooks.
What was that jump shot modeled after? Something pretty good.
Citron bounces away, take short. Brooks puts it down in a crowd, and at last hit her foot. It's going to be Notre Dame basketball. Let's see. Who did he hit last? I think it did last hit NC State. That's the right call. Crowd doesn't like it. I don't think it hit Citron. No, it just rolls through her legs. And again, Brooks has just been a little careless in crowds at times with the ball. Hidalgo step back, way too much on it. And that's out of bounds to NC State.
I don't understand some of the shots that Notre Dame has been taking without pressure from the shot clock.
Yeah.
They've just been forcing some looks. This is a team that can be so, melodic in the way they play offensively when they're moving and sharing the basketball.
Hayes. Here's James. James nearly lost it. Trieger gives it up. Hayes in and out. And here comes Miles. Miles with haste. Miles able to dribble away from the pressure of Brooks. Notre Dame 0 for 8 from 3 in the second half. Westbeld raises up and finishes. That's a good option when you need a bucket too.
Terrific. You go inside off the on-ball screen and you see that there's a size mismatch and let her go to work.
Rivers finds the cutter. Trieger lays it in on a gorgeous delivery from Sanaya Rivers. Trieger now with 14. Hidalgo gets swatted by Brooks.
That time I did think Brooks actually got a lot of Hidalgo's hand and arm. We'll see it here again, but Hidalgo's been so good when she's been able to get inside. Yes, she got her arm taken out.
Holly told us about that rivalry between Brooks and Hidalgo that goes back to junior high. Miles off to King, 5 to shoot. King, what a spin and finish. Leah to King with a pro move, ties it at 66.
So much space with which she could operate in the lane.
Isaiah James got bumped. Nearly finished it. They'll call the foul, though, before the shot. We'll step aside. 4:33 to go. Tied at 66, NC State trying to pull off the upset.
We got a good one brewing here in Raleigh, and the sophomore sensations have been stepping up for their respective teams. Zoe Brooks getting it done for NC State, and Hannah Hidalgo, especially here in the second half so far, leading the charge for the Fighting Irish.
For today's Star Stories, brought to you by Sarah V. Hidalgo with 22, Brooks with 17. Let's send things over to Holly Rowe.
Neil Ivey challenged her team in the huddle. They've got to stop settling. She said, we've got to get to the rim. You've got to be stronger. Stop settling. That's what she's drawn up for her crowd late in this game.
That's exactly what you were just talking about, Rebecca. Some of the shot selection from Notre Dame has felt too much like settling. James fakes the three, tucks it, hooks it, hits it. 14 for James and a 2-point NC State lead. Here's Hidalgo. Into the paint, Hidalgo lays it in.
Neil Ivey has to like that decision, and we've seen it throughout the course here of the second half from Hannah Hidalgo.
She has 24. 4 minutes to go in the fourth, tied at 68. Number 13 NC State, number 1 Notre Dame. Hayes, pass was a little behind her, able to gather, 10 on the shot clock. Rivers spins into trouble, 5 to shoot. Brooks on the run, banks it in!
It's a situation where Hannah Hidalgo helping a little bit over resulted in an open look.
Hidalgo off on a three. Citron the rebound. Hidalgo gets denied by Trieger. Brooks, the flick ahead, is knocked out of bounds by Citron. And with 3:23 to go in the fourth, NC State leads by 2.
See some tired bodies now walking the other direction, but Trieger comes over, does a great job. Shot blockers watch that. Just stays straight up, knowing at 6'6" she has the size advantage.
3 blocks for Trieger, who also has 14 points, more than double her season average of 6 per game. Rivers elevates, can't finish. King able to strong hand the rebound away from Hayes. A double-double for King today.
What a luxury when your four-man can get the board and push herself.
Miles connects on a 3. Olivia Miles puts Notre Dame back in front. 15 for Miles. Brooks behind the back, and then Hidalgo a block from behind, but a foul. And Zoe Brooks is going to go to the line to shoot 2.
And you see Hannah Hidalgo with a smile on her face go and help Brooks up off the floor. These two going back and forth, set up so beautifully with Holly Rowe's story about playing with one another. See the smile on Hannah's face as she helps up her former teammate.
Brooks ties it, so what's at stake today? For Notre Dame, they win the ACC regular season title. For NC State, this would be just their second home win against an AP #1 ever. The other came in 1978 against Wayland Baptist. NC State, who's not a good free throw shooting team, 312th in D1. They're 8 for 8 today. All of those free throws in the second half. Citron gives it up. King dives in and pops it home.
Isaiah James is working really hard, fighting over the screen initially. And King just using great footwork to get that one off.
14 for King. James gets blocked but fouled. And Isaiah James is going to shoot 2.
Watch Isaiah James' defense here. The on-ball screen comes. She's just going to fight over. Gets up and still doesn't let Citron get a step on her. And then just beautiful footwork by King to finish off there.
King has 14. Here's James. Boy, that is about as quiet as you will hear an arena. It's such an intimate setting here at Reynolds, and the entire crowd hushes for these big free throws. James hits the second.
She's a baller. She's a big-time baller, man. She likes the bright lights as well.
14 lead changes now. 2:10 to go, NC State by 1. King putting it on the deck. King rummaging inside, can't finish it. Out of bounds, and who did last hit? We're going to say it last at NC State. And looked like it probably last hit Trieger. A timeout taken. NC State by 1. 2 minutes to go in this fourth. Well, last March, 2024 ACC Championship, Notre Dame and NC State. Tight game down the stretch. Notre Dame finished on a 12-2 run. Hannah Hidalgo with 22, 6, and 6. And Notre Dame won at 55-51, their 6th ACC championship, their first since 2019. Now, a moment ago, this play called out on NC State. Looks like it was the right call hitting the right leg of Trieger. They could not review it because the clock is at 2 minutes. It has to be under 2 minutes, so 1:59 or under in order for them to review. Notre Dame ball, which seemed like the right call anyway, and Miles turns it over.
Play drawn up so Olivia Miles can get the ball and attack the basket, where Notre Dame has had success is getting into the paint because there's so much space there. With shooters around the perimeter, the NC State defenders can't clog up the paint. Right here, you take a look. If she'd been able to turn the corner, very little help in the deep part of the paint.
Miles checks out. Offense, defense here for Niele Ivey. With Prosper in. Rivers throws it away. Partially because of Prosper's pressure. Citron able to finish. Notre Dame back in front by 1. 12 in the second half for Citron. James kicks it. Rivers gives it up. Brooks won't take the 3. She drives, lays it off, but a foul, and Zoe Brooks is going back to the line.
Sonia Citron has done so many good things throughout the course of this game. We talked about her scoring in the third quarter. Well, how about the defense? Just heads up, getting in the passing lane, finishing the other way.
Third foul on Hidalgo as Brooks goes to the line and sinks the first to tie it. NC State 11 of 11 today. Notre Dame has not played a lot of close games this season. NC State, a ton of them, 8-3 in single-digit games. They're back in front by 1. Miles back in offense, defense for Notre Dame. A career high 23 for Zoe Brooks. Hidalgo gets fouled, and Hannah Hidalgo will shoot 2.
Foul number 21, Madison Hayes. That's her third personal.
Madison Hayes picks up her third. Hidalgo 6 of 8 from the line today. Grabs the hands of Sonia Citron, takes a deep breath. And ties it. 76 all, 1:16 to go. Hidalgo has shot all of her team's free throws. And puts Notre Dame back in front by 1. 77-76, 1:15 to go. Neither team has led by more than 7 at any point in this hotly contested game. Rivers creeps in, picks up the dribble. Hayes on the attack, banks it in. NC State back in front. Hidalgo, the crossover, has it stolen. James on the steal. James Euros can't finish. Rivers trying to flag it down. Brooks stays in bounds, and a timeout taken by Wes Moore, who was ardently trying to be granted one, finally was, leading by 1 with 34.7 to go.
We've seen so much toughness from both of these teams. How about Madison Hayes going in, absorbing contact, giving her team the lead.
What a game between NC State and Notre Dame, number 13 and number 1. Notre Dame clinches the ACC regular season title with a win. NC State would have just their second home win ever against an AP number 1. Last happened 1978 against Wayland Baptist. 16 on the shot clock here, Rebecca. 34.7 to go. NC State with the basketball, leading by 1. NC State in the bonus. They have just 2 team fouls as you think ahead to the Notre Dame possession.
Number 1 key, of course, is going to be able to inbound the ball cleanly, always aware of where Hannah Hidalgo is defensively.
This is the only game in ACC play that Notre Dame has trailed in the fourth quarter this season. Rivers gets it into Brooks. Hidalgo is there. Here's James getting it back to Hayes. Hayes fends off Hidalgo. Brooks, 8 to shoot. Waits, drives, gets denied. Another chance and a foul. Zoe Brooks hit on the follow, and she will go to the line.
Zoe Brooks has been so good here in this game. This time she goes in, uses her strength. Goes up, clean block there, but then gets smushed when she tries to go back up the second time.
Brooks hits the free throw.
It's The first one, clean block. Second one here, gets hit in the face. Yes, that's the right call.
Brooks, a career high 24. Knocks down 2 more free throws. NC State 14 of 14 from the line. They are 312th in D1 in free throw shooting. Not today. They lead by 3 with 22.5 to go. Notre Dame basketball. Rebecca, we know Olivia Miles has been in so many tight, late situations where she comes up with big buckets. Think back to 2023 at home, this game winner against Louisville in overtime. We saw earlier this season, end of the fourth quarter, tie game against Texas. The runner to put Notre Dame in front, a game they eventually won in overtime. Now Notre Dame has options here when it comes to 3 or 2 with 22.5 seconds left. That's still a lot of time.
Plenty of time where they can look for the best shot going at the basket. Don't necessarily have to settle for a 3. Now keep in mind, NC State, with 2 fouls to give, can use those wisely. You just need to make sure if you're using a foul to give, you do it while the player is dribbling or has her back to the basket, because you certainly don't want to foul a 3-point shooter.
NC State 80, Notre Dame 77. 22.5 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. We've had 19 lead changes in this game, 12 of them in the second half. 16 ties, 11 of them in the second half. Notre Dame just 1 for 10 from 3 since halftime. Here we go. Into Miles, down 3. Miles on the drive, lays it in. 1-point game. Done efficiently by Notre Dame. Beautifully drawn up by Niele Ivey. And Miles lays it in. Timeout, NC State.
No surprise, we know Notre Dame likes to get the ball to Olivia Miles. Let her go to her strong right side, able to get to plenty of time left on the clock. And if you're Niele Ivey, you'll trust your defense the other way. Maybe you can get a steal on the inbound. Maybe you can get a 5-second call on the inbound, something disruptive. And while I know NC State has been impeccable at the free throw line today, 14 for 14, this is a team that has struggled mightily from the free throw line this season. So if NC State gets the ball in and you're Notre Dame, you can foul and play your chances there.
Miles checks out again. Hassan Prosper in. As Notre Dame goes offense, defense, a reminder, number 9, UNC taking on Louisville next. And then it'll be Kentucky LSU after that. Full day of hoops on ESPN.
Late game. Westmore likes to get the ball in Isaiah James' hands. Prosper has really nice length on the inbounder.
And it's Citron who's guarding Isaiah James. Rivers trying to get it in, finds Brooks. Hidalgo going for the steal and fouls her. That's going to be number 4 on Hannah Hidalgo, as Zoe Brooks will go back to the line. She is 10 for 10 on the day from the free throw line. 75% on the season prior to this performance. 11 for 11. Stone cold. One more coming. How about 12 for 12 for Zoe Brooks on a career day? NC State leads by 3. Notre Dame takes the timeout with 17.3 to go in the fourth. What a game it has been. As we welcome you back courtside, Ryan Ruocco, the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo, really from tip. I mean, the action has not stopped. The game's been tight throughout. Now for Notre Dame, you still have 17.3 to go. Still the same optionality with 3 versus 2 here. If you're Niele Ivey, down 3.
Yeah, what did it take them? 2 seconds maybe on their last offensive possession for Miles to get it and go, especially to her strong right side. She has the size advantage in that matchup, so would not be surprised for them to look for a quick 2.
One timeout remaining for Notre Dame. NC State still has 2 fouls to give. Zoe Brooks, meanwhile, the sophomore with 14 points in his fourth quarter. A career high 27 for Brooks and a tie-up. A tie-up, and the possession arrow stays with Notre Dame. Near disaster there for the Fighting Irish. Miles gets it into Hidalgo. Hidalgo taking a lot of time here. Miles on the drive, back to Hidalgo. 7 seconds left. King will lay it in, but Notre Dame took too much time. 5 seconds left, and a timeout taken by NC State.
I don't understand, though, why NC State didn't use one of their fouls to give.
Especially with how casual they were being, and Notre Dame away from the basket.
Yes, and you know, when Hidalgo's dribbling, just smack her. Make them inbound the ball again and set your defense. Just look at how many opportunities on this possession NC State has to foul. So, okay, you're playing it straight up right here. The foul there. As soon as Hannah Hidalgo dribbles, foul right there.
Right, Rivers was almost trying not to foul.
Yeah, go ahead, foul.
So NC State uses a timeout. They have one remaining. Notre Dame has one remaining, meaning Notre Dame will be able to advance the basketball. So they get possession back.
So important to inbound the ball cleanly if you're NC State. That's why you really want to make sure you do have this timeout here, because if you don't have a clean look to inbound the basketball, you use that last timeout.
And NC State also advances the basketball off their timeout. Puts them in less precarious real estate on the inbound. 82-81, NC State in front of Notre Dame. 5.4 to go. Brooks to inbound. Brooks gets it in to Hayes, who's fouled. And Olivia Miles gives the foul. Remember, Hidalgo has 4. Now Miles has 4. So Hidalgo had to be careful not to be the one to foul there. Free throws for Madison Hayes.
It was interesting the last few times that NC State advanced it. They got the ball to Brooks because she's been the one who's been running at the free throw line consistently. Hayes hasn't taken one yet.
No, Rivers has been the player who's been inbounding. And Hayes still able to knock down the first. 80% on the season, 68% in her career. NC State 17 for 17, and Hayes makes it 18 for 18. 3-point lead again for NC State with 4.5 to go in this fourth.
The whole time those free throws were being taken, Neil Ivey was just looking at her board, drawing up the play that she's going to want her team to run here. Fourth, good look at a 3. And of course, you've got Olivia Miles, who's been so clutch for them throughout the course of her career, late game. Very good three-point shooter. Hannah Hidalgo, very good. Sonia Citron, very good, and has the size to get over a smaller defender.
All 3 of those players are 38% or better from 3.
And NC State still has their 2 fouls to get. So if Notre Dame catches the ball and dribbles, foul right away.
Of course, with only 4.5 seconds left, it becomes dicey because you worry about fouling.
That's why they have to be dribbling. They have to be dribbling.
Notre Dame, number 1 in the nation in three-point shooting percentage, 41%. But today, just 5 for 21. NC State by 3.
Watch Olivia Miles after she inbounds.
4.5 seconds to go. Miles looking in, needs to get it to someone, throws it to Citron, 2 seconds left, Citron hoists, and hits! And hits! Sonia Citron ties the game at 84! What a big money bucket from Sonia Citron, and we have overtime!
Incredible bucket by Sonia Citron. Just creates herself, gets enough room to get the shot up. I don't understand why you don't foul on those dribbles, but an incredible play by Sonia Citron. Big, big shot.
And Rebecca, I believe they're going to end up putting some time back on the clock here for NC State as Sonia Citron fired up. You see the reaction from Hannah Hidalgo and Wes Moore, just disgusted. Clipboard to the ground. His team has played a brilliant game against number 1 Notre Dame. Niele Ivey loving what she sees.
6.6 seconds has been added to the clock.
So here's why they're going to put some more time back on the clock here. See Citron's 3 clearly go through with time remaining. So they're going to put 0.6 of a second left. That's enough time to catch and shoot.
In women's college basketball, 0.4 is enough to catch and shoot. So here, NC State does not need to get a tip at the rim. They would if it was 0.3 or less. But they are able to get a quick catch and shoot, whether it's on the perimeter, if you can get something going towards the basket. Either way, catch and shoot.
So NC State takes the timeout. That will advance the basketball in a tie game at 84.
Notre Dame, if you can just tip the inbound, you can just tip the basketball. Enough time will come off where NC State won't get any kind of a look at it.
Citron with 15 second half points, none bigger than that lofted 3 to tie the game with 0.6 to go. NC State a chance to win it still. Tied at 84.
The long size of Prosper on the inbounder. Make it hard to see, but again, if you can get just get your fingertips on the basketball.
And now, instead of it being Brooks who will inbound it, check that. Brooks will inbound it, but comes to the reverse side. So Brooks will get it in. 0.6 of a second remaining, tied at 84. Does NC State get a look here for the win? Brooks finds James for the win. No! And we have overtime. You cannot ask for a better look than what Isaiah James got right there with 0.6 of a second. But overtime coming between NC State and Notre Dame, thanks to the shot from Sonia Citron.
How big has she been here in the second half? So many opportunities in the third quarter, and then what a huge shot. Barely gets her feet back on balance, eyes on the rim. You see the reaction from her teammates, Hannah Hidalgo, Olivia Miles, Niele Ivey. I mean, what a tough shot.
Just a massive bucket from Sonia Citron. NC State had a good look here, but just short from Isaiah James. We talk about how sometimes Sonia Citron gets overlooked. Her teammates know how good she is, and she's showing it here today. She may not get the shine from Hidalgo that Hidalgo or Miles does, but she is a star as well, and her teammates absolutely know that.
Let me say something too. Let me say what she didn't say. Sony is her. She's literally her. That's my dog. We came to Notre Dame to do this together. Our chemistry is insane. She does everything that this team needs to do, and without a word said. Sonia is incredible.
Yeah, Sonia is incredible.
She's her, Ryan. She's her.
What a shot from Sonia Citron.
It's why when you combine Citron with Hidalgo and Olivia Miles, they're the best backcourt trio in the country. You cannot overlook what this young woman brings to this Notre Dame team.
Last 4 games, terrific numbers today. 15 of those 17 in the second half. First overtime game of the season for NC State. Notre Dame has an overtime win that we saw against Texas. Now this is interesting. The officials were about ready to start overtime, and then all of a sudden we're told to send their teams to their respective benches. We'll try and get a grasp as to why. I see Holly Rowe already on the case. All right, there is a medical emergency in the stands, so they are going to delay the game for a moment. Obviously, we just hope whoever needs medical attention is okay and gets the help and healing that they need. We'll step aside, come back. Well, thank you for coming back here to Raleigh, where just as we were about to start overtime, the game was stopped because of a medical emergency in the stands. You can see some of the medical personnel gathered up there in the top tier here at Reynolds Coliseum. And obviously, Rebecca, we're all transfixed by what has been an incredible game on the court. Just unbelievable action. Sonia Citron, the game-tying 3 with 0.6 to go, moments ago. And then rather than continuing that energy and that action at the start of overtime, now you have an extended delay here where obviously the game is put in perspective when somebody's dealing with something having to do with real life.
Yeah, and without question. And I think the Notre Dame players were just kind of alerted to the serious nature of it. You saw them get into a huddle and looked like they were saying a prayer with one another. But yeah, who cares about overtime? I mean, both of these teams do, but there's some stuff going on up there.
Yeah, so we're going to get it to Kelsey Riggs in studio and come back just as soon as we have basketball, hoping that everyone is okay here at NC State.
Guys, thanks so much. As he said, Kelsey Riggs and Brooke Weisbrod in the studio with you. Certainly thoughts and prayers with the person who's being attended to there at the game. As you saw the stretcher just now coming out and you heard the applause, we'll get you updated on that as soon as we can. I'm sure they'll be on that there. Meanwhile, it's a tie ball game. We just went to overtime, 84 apiece. And Brooke, the energy has just shifted because obviously what's happening is bigger than basketball. But hopefully, if this fan is okay and once things proceed forward, you're going to have to figure out how to get back out there and what happens next. Take me through the mindset of these players right now as they're sitting there waiting to see what happens next in a big overtime matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible to go from, the emotion of a game to now to silence and care, obviously, for the health of this person. So for both teams to have to, refocus and get back in these huddles, you're talking about, an overtime battle between two of the top teams in the ACC and what this could mean for NC State. They would love to have this top 10 win, especially at home. And Notre Dame and Citron probably hit the biggest shot all season. Don't even know if that was designed for her to take, but she makes the most of it with the crossover pull-up fadeaway 3. It was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. We were going crazy in here. I know it was a crazy few minutes there for the fans as well as now we shift over to what happens. We're going to send it back to you guys. And if you're looking for the North Carolina game, it's on ESPN News. We'll see you in a few, guys.
All right, Kelsey, Brooke, thank you very much. Start of overtime now after about an 8-minute delay for that fan to be tended to. We certainly hope that they are okay and get the help and aid they need to recover. And while start of overtime as Zoe Brooks misses the jumper. I mean, Rebecca, just how hard is that to restart the engines for all these players as Miles misses the 3 after you have the adrenaline coursing through you like they did to have that kind of a delay and have to fire it back up.
The physical and emotional engines, Rye. It's hard.
Here's Brooks, pitter patter, and bank it in. Zoe Brooks, 29 points, continuing to elevate her career high. Citron from nearly the same spot, couldn't get it to drop. Sonia Citron's contested 3 with 0.6 remaining, tied this game at 84. Isaiah James had a look at the buzzer, could not hit. That's how we got to overtime. Brooks off on her 3 and King the rebound. King gets it ahead to Hidalgo. Hidalgo trying to work around James. Hidalgo needs some help. Fires it out to Miles. 8 to shoot. Miles. 5 to shoot. Gives it up. Westbell 2 to shoot. Westbell puts it up. Can't hit. Citron the rebound and the putback to tie it at 86.
They put Westbell in a tough spot there to try to create her own shot. But how about Sonia Citron just coming in, pursuing the rebound and finishing?
19 for Citron, who also has 7 rebounds. Rivers, beautiful pocket pass. Trieger the finish. 16 for Tilda Trieger.
That pick and roll between those two players has been effective all day.
7 assists for Rivers. Citron pull up, rims in. Tied at 88.
Drop coverage by NC State makes it ripe for Citron to get that mid-range pull-up.
21 for Sonia Citron. Here's Rivers. Rivers didn't have the pocket pass that time. Gives it up to Brooks. Brooks, the crossover, the attack. Couldn't lay it in. Rebound loose, grab by Miles. Miles, no look. Hidalgo twisting through bodies. Backs up. Can't hit the mid-range. King the offensive rebound and another chance for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame just has more activity on the offensive glass than NC State does defensively.
16-0 boards, 2-7 in favor of Notre Dame. Miles curls it in, and Notre Dame back in front.
Expertly using the rim to protect her shot from a shot blocker.
19 for Olivia Miles. Twenty lead changes in the game, 13 of them in the second half. James, veering, cupping, left it short. Hayes lost it. King has it. Here comes Notre Dame. Miles with some zest and double dribbled.
Yes, that's the way this entire game is felt, but especially the last 10 minutes or so.
Fifth turnover for Olivia Miles. Here's Hayes. Hayes barging through the right side, spins and gets fouled. Hayes will go to the line where she hit 2 key free throws at the end of regulation. NC State, an almost unfathomable 18 for 18 from the line on the day, a team that shoots at 66%. And Hayes hits again. Zoe Brooks, 12 of 12 from the line. And Hayes gets them both, tied at 90. Under a minute to go in overtime. Citron trying to get around James and does for the lay. Notre Dame back in front, 23 from Sonia Citron, 21 of them in the second half. Here comes James. Down 2, NC State with the ball. Rivers over to James. 10 to shoot. James on the run, leaning and hitting. Tied at 92. Notre Dame can hold for a final shot. Shot clock turned off. 10 seconds to go in overtime. Miles, game in her hands. 4 seconds. Miles on the move, gets fouled as NC State, as you wanted them to do all at the end of regulation, Rebecca, gives the foul to give.
Sonia Citron comes off the screen. Little hesitation, explodes by James using her size to finish inside. And on the other end, Isaiah James goes in, uses her elevation to be able to score.
Timeout on the floor, 3.5 to go in overtime, tied at 92. Well, Sonia Citron, with the clock winding down to the end of regulation, hoists this 3 to tie the game at 84, send it into overtime, and in OT, she has been terrific for Notre Dame.
She's just continued to make winning plays, active on the offensive glass to get looks, active in the mid-range to get looks, active attacking the basket to get looks. Won't be surprised if she can maybe get the ball back here.
Well, Citron will inbound, 3.5 seconds to go in overtime, tied at 92. Citron finds Miles. Miles hoist, way off, and Westbeld gets blocked but fouled. They call a foul. Is it after time expired? They will take a look at whether or not this foul occurred after the clock hit 0.
The illegal contact is under review to see if it occurred prior to the expiration of time.
It certainly looked like a foul. So the question is just the matter of time. Yeah, I mean,
I agree with you on the foul. I think based on that first look, it looks like the clock had expired. Let's see. Into Westbeld's arms. I think it's after the clock hits zeros, but it is really close. Notre Dame's reacting, saying there should be 1/10 of a second. Let's see. Oof. It depends. They're going to say the foul occurred after time expired.
The illegal contact occurred after the expiration of time. We will go into a second overtime.
All right, here we go. 5 more minutes. Double OT in Raleigh for Notre Dame and NC State. Remember, NC State was in a classic double overtime game a couple of years ago in the NCAA tournament in Bridgeport against Connecticut. This has been a thrilling regular season contest. Notre Dame clinches the ACC regular season title with a win. NC State's only home win against an AP #1 back in 1978. All right, Rebecca. What's a focus or two for each of these teams here to start the double OT?
Okay. Notre Dame, important to understand. Hannah Hidalgo, Olivia Miles, 2 of their most important pieces, each has 4 fouls. So if you're NC State in here in this situation, you might be looking to attack those 2 players. Now, NC State doesn't really have anybody who is in any kind of foul trouble. But if you're NC State also defensively, you have to know where Sonia Citron is, because she has really come alive throughout the course of the second half and in the overtime as well.
Holly, I know you were around that NC State huddle.
The emphasis for Westmore is boxing out. They have been hurt in this late game and overtime period by the glass not being as active as they need to be. His point, box out. We've got to get the rebounds.
Yeah, Notre Dame has done an outstanding job pursuing those O boards, Holly.
Had a big advantage on the offensive glass, 17 offensive rebounds for Notre Dame to NC State 7. Westbeld and Rivers jump it up, and it is Rivers who wins the tip for NC State. Gives you an idea what kind of an athlete Sanaya Rivers is, that she's the one who jumps.
Notre Dame coming out in a zone defense here, probably to protect those players with foul trouble.
4 on Miles, 4 on Hidalgo. James dishes, Rivers, 5 to shoot, dumps it in, Trieger lays it home. 18 for the freshman Tilda Trieger.
And Rivers delivering the ball where only her 6'6" player can catch it.
8th assist for Sanaya Rivers, 2 away from a triple-double. Hidalgo fakes the 3, blurs baseline, Citron, an offensive foul.
Westmore has talked about how he wants to see more defensively from Isaiah James. She has been really good today. Yes, that's the right call. She steps in, absorbs the contact. We've seen her fight over on-ball screens as well. Very good defensive day for James.
1 minute into double overtime. NC State a 2-point lead. Rivers, oh, what a move. Sanaya Rivers pulled the string then. Brooks' runner is good. Zoe Brooks with 31. Miles a 3, no. Good box out that time. Brooks on the move, pull up, off, rebound, King. Here comes Notre Dame. Hidalgo did not score in the first overtime from the field. Kicks to the corner. King's mid-range is off. Rebound, Brooks. Here comes James. Isaiah James behind the back.
Isaiah James found another gear out in transition around the world. The play she needed to make. NC State up 6.
What a play from Isaiah James here in double overtime.
I mean, her teammates are tired. They don't even cross midcourt, and she just does the around the world. And Ryan, that was the right basketball play. She wasn't just trying to be fancy. This is how she gets by Miles, who couldn't afford to pick up a 5th foul.
20 points for Isaiah James. 6-point lead in double OT for NC State, trying to topple #1 Notre Dame. Citron dribbles it out of bounds, off of her. NC State ball. First double overtime game with an AP #1 since February of 2006.
Sonia Citron's been watching the WNBA. She looked at her bench and did the twirling finger, but there's no challenge in women's college basketball.
2:30 to go in double OT. Brooks backs away. She has a career-high 31 points. Rivers through the lane, lays it in. Largest lead of the game for either team. 8-0 in double OT in favor of NC State. Hidalgo can't finish. Rebound into the arms of the Wolfpack.
Sanaya Rivers points to give the ball to her teammate. She's a little bit hobbled, Ryan. Tapping at her hamstring or her left leg as if it's tight somehow.
Here's Isaiah James. NC State running clock. James a 3. Back ironing off. Rebound Brooks, and NC State can run more clock. 10th rebound for Zoe Brooks, the guard, who also has 31 points. Brooks through the lane, lost it, out of bounds to Notre Dame. And still time left for Notre Dame here, 1:14 remaining in double OT. 100 points, the most scored against an AP #1 in the last 25 seasons. Hidalgo looking for an angle, can't cup it in. Trieger the rebound. And is it a foul or a tie-up? If it's a foul on Hidalgo, it would be her 5th.
Or a game of twister.
Could be that too. And the officials are going to confer about it. Wow. You could see Hidalgo's reaction. It's going to be a foul on Hannah Hidalgo, and that will be her 5th.
Was it hit on Hidalgo, or was it on the big who was involved?
It's Hidalgo. I think that should have been a tie-up. Instead, Hidalgo gets called for her 5th, and she has fouled out.
If your team is about to beat the #1 team in the country, wouldn't you want to say that that team is underrated? Like, our team is so good, we're beating the #1 team.
And Hidalgo, inefficient again against NC State. Still had plenty of brilliant moments with 26 points, but fouls out here as Trieger misses NC State's first free throw of the day. They had been 20 for 20. A team that's 312th in Division I in free throw shooting. Not today. Inside of a minute to go. Citron puts it down in a crowd, and now we'll have a held ball. It'll remain with Notre Dame, 44.5 seconds to go.
Notre Dame, you got to start playing 3 by 3. I don't think you can continue to look for 2-point shots here.
Not down 9 with 44.5 seconds to go. Sonia Citron hit a deep 3 with 0.6 remaining in the fourth to force overtime. Teams went back and forth to get to a second OT. It's been all NC State in double overtime. King off one leg, no, rebound Rivers. Rivers trapped in the backcourt and fouled, and that should about do it with 31.9 to go. Notre Dame's 19-game winning streak, their longest since the 15-16 season, will end today in Raleigh. NC State will make it 20 straight home wins, the longest active streak in the ACC. As long as they can hang on, leading by 9 with 31.9 to go. Sanaya Rivers, 13 points, 13 rebounds, 9 assists. She hits the second. Miles launches and hits from 3. Brooks in the backcourt is fouled, and Olivia Miles is fouled out. And you can see Miles say, I had to do it. So Hidalgo and Miles foul out in double OT. And Brooks remains perfect from the line. 13 for 13. It's an NC State team that went to the Final Four a season ago. That's going to improve to 14-2 in the ACC. Brooks, what a day for the sophomore. 33 points against her childhood rival, Hannah Hidalgo. That's going the other way. They need to inbound the ball, and Zoe Brooks was celebrating instead of going back to the basketball. Madison Hayes was yelling for her to come back for it. Now NC State can dribble it out. NC State takes down number 1 Notre Dame. A double OT thriller, and for the first time since 1978, NC State has beaten an AP number 1 team here in Raleigh. Their 5th win all time against an AP number 1. For our producer, Kerry Callahan, our director, Jimmy Platt, the Hall of Famers, Rebecca Lobo and Holly Rowe, I'm Ryan Rucco. Now let's get you to the KFC Yum Center for UNC in Louisville. Here's Pam Ward and Stephanie White.
Sam, thanks so much. As she said, Brooke Weisbrod, Kelsey Riggs in the studio with you. And man, do we have a game for you. Top 15 showdown between Notre Dame and NC State. We take you to the end. A minute to play. NC State trailing by 1, but Madison Hayes says not for long. Gives them the lead. 4.5 to go. And Brooke, how about this?
Killer shot from Sonia Citron. Play wasn't even designed for her, but she made it count.
She made it count, she made it work, and we head to overtime because that tied it. Then Citron again could not be stopped. Notre Dame takes a 2-point lead. How about Isaiah James, though?
I mean, the way that she was able to create in traffic and keep her confidence all game.
Tied at 92, Notre Dame ball, Olivia Miles. That shot is no good, so guess what? There's zeros on the clock. We are headed to another overtime. Tilda Trieger. Right inside, no stopping her there, gets the pass inside, and NC State takes a 2-point lead. And then Brooke, watch out.
Hey now. This is how you get it done. Around the world, right when it matters.
A 104 to 95. Here's Holly Rowe afterwards.
Zoe, a career high for you today. How were you able to take down the #1 team in the country?
This is a great feeling, great atmosphere. It's a really big game, #1 team in the country, and I just had a lot of fun today.
So many times you had to step to the free throw line with the game on the line, overtime on the line. How were you able to calm your mind in those moments and execute?
Just being confident, being relaxed. I practice them every day and just trusting in my shot.
I know this is all about your team, but there was a Jersey girl rivalry going on between you and Hannah. What's it like to come out on top and play against such a great player like she is?
Me and Hannah have been playing on the same team for years. I love playing against her. We played against each other in high school and now college, and it's just great competing against her.
Took a little bit of everything. I know you guys believe in the power of the pack. How did that rise to this occasion?
We always play together. We're a sisterhood. We're a family. And we know if we play together, we could be anybody in the country.
Thank you.
Man, and you saw that today was a career day for her. Most points by an NC State player versus #1 team since 2000. And the big three scored or assisted on 93 of the 104 points.
I was so impressed by their ability to get it done when adversity seemed high. But how about 24 of 26 from the free throw line? Zoe Brooks, you didn't even miss one today.
She was perfect, and you saw what that led to. It led to an upset of the #1 team in the country. Notre Dame goes down. NC State, of course, gets the win today. She's Brooke. I'm Kelsey. We've got another great ACC game.
Welcome into the ACC Network studios. Got two national champs alongside me. Kelly Dayo from Notre Dame, Angela Taylor from Stanford. I'm Justin Walters. Ladies, there's obviously only one place to start. Let's get straight to the action because at Raleigh, it exceeded the hype, 10+. That is how exciting this game was. Notre Dame and NC State putting their respective streaks on the line. The Irish entered with the longest active win streak in the conference. Meanwhile, the Wolfpack entered with the longest active home win streak in the ACC. Guess who was in the house for this showdown? Women's College game day. Rumor has it some fans were up there at 10 p.m. the previous night. The electricity, the energy, top 15, the top two teams in the conference, and two of the best backcourts in the country. Let's go, Olivia Miles, Zaza, #1 versus #13. Both of these teams are heading to March Madness. The question is how far. It felt like March today, ladies. Under 2 minutes to go, Sonia Citron picks off the pass, Kelly, and she goes coast to coast.
One of Notre Dame's 13 steals that turned into points on the other end.
But here comes NC State. Westmore's like, oh, come on, y'all. But we got Madison Hayes, Angela.
Madison Hayes with 6 of her points in the second half in both overtime.
We speak about all the unheralded stars. How about Liatu King? Dish there. Irish cut it to 1. After a pair of free throws, Irish is up by 3. 4.5 seconds, ladies. Who are we going to give it to? Why not? Sonia Citron. Count it overtime.
I wish there was a video on us in studio because that shot went up and we were going nuts.
But NC State had 2 fouls at that point in the game. You could have fouled her before she got the shot off.
We see Westmore, he dropped the clipboard. The fans like, dude, are you serious? Bonus basketball, Olivia Miles, the layup package. It's filthy. 25 seconds left. You didn't see Isaiah James leave this game early, came back, bandage looking like Nelly, bucket tied at 92. 3.5 seconds left. Walk me through this play, Kelly.
You know, with that much time, I think she could have put the ball on the floor 1 or 2 times and gotten a better look than that.
Let's head to double overtime. Angela, feed the beast, Tilda Trieger.
Sanaya Rivers with 9 assists and getting the ball to Trieger on the low block.
We say beast. How about this? A career-high 33 points. Zoe Brooks. It was a New Jersey showdown. We see you. And then Isaiah James. Kelly, this was nice.
Unbelievable. That is showtime. That's on the highlight reel for life. Isaiah James finishes and her team moves on.
That's
Center top one.
It's like that 104-95, the final score. This is NC State's 5th all-time win against the AP #1 team. 3 of those wins have come over the last 5 seasons, the most in D1. And take a look at the celebration that ensued following the victory. Westmore, guess what, my guy? You're about to get drenched with water. A #1 victory. It was a little bit delayed. You gotta love it. NC State, 20 straight wins at the crib, Reynolds Coliseum. Angela, tell me the how. What impressed you about this?
Well, going into this game, we knew that NC State was going to have to play really good defense. They were going to have to contain Notre Dame's explosive offense. They did a great job at the three-point line, holding Notre Dame to 26% from the three-point line. But offensively, they were going to have an exceptional game. And that is what they did, particularly in the half court. They were patient offensively, moving the ball, moving bodies. They attacked the paint off the dribble and with the pass. And Zoe Brooks was fantastic this entire game. She had 33 points, got to the free throw line 14 times, with 14 for 14 from the free throw line, had 14 points in the fourth quarter, and when she got into the paint, she did a great job of picking it out to open shooters. NC State shot 46% from the floor and 38% from the three-point line against a really good Notre Dame defense.
Yeah, I thought the balance for NC State was what separated them in this game. 5 players in double figures. I mean, Zoe Brooks was playing at the end like we've been talking about Isaiah James, like she's the one on that mid-season Naismith watch list. She was playing with such confidence to come down and hit those free throws, perfect from the free throw line, as you mentioned. But I think that the key was slowing down Notre Dame, which is a tough task, right? And in the beginning, Notre Dame, I thought, was doing really well in transition. NC State stopped that a little bit more in the second half, but where I think Notre Dame had their biggest slip up was shot selection. I thought that Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles, although they should be taking a lot of shots, they weren't always the best shots within the offense. We saw a few times Maddie Westbeld was missed, Leah Tu King, Sonia Citron only had 2 points in that first half, played awesome in the second. But I just think that when you are in a situation like that, you got to share the ball a little bit better.
Well, you mentioned a shot selection. We have a lovely shot chart to show you what Olivia Miles and Hannah Hidalgo, H2O, did from the field. 17 of 49. That's not the best. 34.7 field goal shooting percent. Take a listen to what Neil Ivey said after the loss.
No, I thought our shot selection could have been a lot better. I thought we kind of settled. And I think if we could have kind of mixed it up more, kind of getting to the rim, getting downhill, getting some more paint touches, maybe that number wouldn't have been as low as it was. But again, like they put the work in. They know that they have a lot of freedom within the offense. We just needed to have some better shot selection at times in the game.
Now, we don't need to hammer Notre Dame. 19 straight wins. The streak was snapped. It took 2 overtimes to beat them. But what is the takeaway, the learning lesson from this loss?
Well, no coach probably likes to say that this could be a good loss, but I think it could be a good loss for Notre Dame because they have been winning by such a large margin against most of the teams in the ACC. They've hardly been challenged. And so to go into this game and play against a great defense, and they've played against really good defenses, they haven't looked that great because Notre Dame's so good, I think is going to be really good. They're going to go back, they're going to watch film, they're going to get better. And this is one of those situations where anybody who plays Notre Dame after this is in trouble because Notre Dame's going to right the ship.
Well, early on in this game, NC State had 8 turnovers, and that puts kerosene on the fire that is Notre Dame's transition. And when they had to slow it down into the half court, they struggled quite a bit because they weren't getting efficient looks. When you get into tournament play, defenses are going to force you into that half court. And so your 2 elite All-American guards are going to have to make good decisions with the ball and not force it offensively.
Next up for Notre Dame is Florida State. Excited to see how that shakes out. That's going to air right here on the ACC Network. Great win by NC State.
Yeah, Coach Westmore walking into that meeting room knowing exactly what was going to happen because this is not new to you, Coach Moore. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on ACC PM. Congratulations first and foremost, on a massive dub and just the way you guys were able to get it done. We were laughing during the break, and I was like, oh, man, just that was an incredible game for college basketball fans. And you said, glad it was good for you. Matt, you had fun. For me, not as much there on the sideline. What was it like for you going through the highs and the lows of Sunday's game against Notre Dame?
Yeah, you go through about every emotion, especially when you go double overtime, and so it was streaky. Obviously, Notre Dame's a great team. What they've done so far has been unbelievable. To reel off 15 straight in the ACC is not easy. And but I was proud of our players. We had moments, especially when Citron hit the three. A tough shot at the end of the regulation to put it into overtime. It would have been real easy to hang your head and say, oh, wow, it's not meant to be. But everybody stayed up, and, we had tried, and in the huddle we talked about trying to foul if they were dribbling across the across the court, and even talked about how we wanted to foul. But at the end of the day, there you see the shot. At the end of the day, I need to do a better job in practice of making sure we know how to execute that. So luckily we survived it.
I was going to ask you about that. You had some fouls to give there, but you answered it there and taken ownership. But again, it's all in the wash now after the win. I do wonder just the message that you were, imploring your team with leading up to this game, because it's one thing to take on a good team at home and you're like, all right, I think we can win this game. It's another to make your team believe and impress upon them what's at stake here, or at least the possibility. What was the overarching message in practice? What did you instill in them?
Oh, well, again, I hope we have confidence. We've been very fortunate at home. We've had a good streak going. Our fans make a big, big difference. And obviously, with it being college game day, the atmosphere was unbelievable. So that's what I told them when they hit the shot and put it into overtime. I just said, hey, we're here, we're at home, 5-minute game. Of course, it ended up being another 10 minutes. But, let's go out and, we're right here. Let's get it done. So definitely had confidence in them, and I hope they had confidence in themselves. I think they did. By the way they performed in some clutch situations.
We were just showing some highlights there of Sanaya Rivers. I got to talk to her before the game yesterday, and I know she was so excited for this matchup, and I know she felt a sense of responsibility along with Isaiah James and the veterans on this squad to try to lead this team to victory. And it hasn't always been perfect for her this season, but she finishes with a near triple-double yesterday and was outstanding almost in every facet of the game. What can you say about Sanaya Rivers and the factor she played in yesterday's win for this team?
Yeah, Sanaya, obviously, as you mentioned, I think she was 1 assist away from a triple-double, 9 assists. She had rebounds, scored. She does it all for us. And then on the defensive end, I don't know how many block shots she had. She made some big-time plays. Again, I've told her before, as well as a couple of the other veterans, we're going to kind of go as you go. She like I said, she can make plays on both ends of the court and does a great job of getting everybody else involved. Made some great dishes. And so, again, she's a big part of, what we're trying to do.
If you would have said Hidalgo and Miles would have a combined 48 points before the game, you would have said, okay, it's not great, but we'll take it. But if you would have said, okay, it's going to be on 49 shots, you'd gladly take that. What was the plan going in there, Coach, defending those two in the backcourt?
Yeah, I don't know if you can defend those two. I'll be honest. We felt like, last year in the ACC championship game, of course, Olivia Miles wasn't playing, but Hidalgo, she set people up and got everyone else shots. And so I kind of kicked myself. We had a 6-point lead in the ACC championship game with, a few minutes left. And I kind of kicked myself for we helped a little bit too much off of Sonia Citron and West Bell because they're both shooting over 40% from three. So definitely, trying not to overhelp with our wings and 4-player and try to hope our posts could help and that our guards, when you got Sanaya, Isaiah, you hope they can match up and guard. And Zoe, we gave up a lot of layups, which is disappointing. But, again, with that team, they're so talented at every position. You got to give something up. You got to hope that you take care of the ball so you can somehow slow down their transition, because they're unbelievable on the break. So trying to do that. But again, I don't know if you can stop, Hidalgo and Miles. They're just both such explosive players. And I think they've improved their three-point shooting tremendously. I think Olivia Miles worked on that quite a bit last year when she was out, and it shows. So definitely they're, a threat at all three levels, and that makes it tough to guard.
I know you said, I don't know if there's a way you can completely defend them, but you guys did a pretty darn good job on Sunday. You mentioned Zoe Brooks, and I got to watch her on SportsCenter a little bit earlier today. She's making the rounds as she should be, finishing with a career-high 33 and a double-double. She has made a big jump from her freshman year now to her sophomore year with a ton more responsibility, and I know you probably demand a lot out of her with the high recruiting that she came in with. She had high expectations. What have you seen in the evolution of Zoe Brooks, and then to see it pay off like it did yesterday?
Yeah, Zoe's come a long way. I agree. I mean, if we're getting ready for nominations and for different ACC awards, and as far as most improved, I got to put Zoe up there. She's been unbelievable. She, sometimes turns it over a little bit more than others. She's been through a great stretch where she was maybe 7 assists, 1 turnover, 6 assists, 1 turnover. She's turned it over a little bit, which against Notre Dame you don't want to do because they turn those into points. But I'm real proud of Zoe, how far she's come, and I think she's still got, room up to her ceiling and can get better. But I was happy for her. That was a big day, and Sanaya and Isaiah deservingly get a lot of the accolades and credit. It's pretty neat for Zoe to be kind of the player of the game. I was excited for her.
One of the cliches that coaches always go by is we want to make more free throws than the other team attempts. It's not always been a great thing for NC State, right? 67%, bottom third or so nationally, and then you just walk into the gym and go 24 of 26 from the free throw line. I know Zoe was a big part of that with 14 for 14, but how do you explain it, and how can you bottle that up moving forward?
Well, I don't know. I took over the free throw shooting coaching position this week, so that was it. The Sunday before, we lost a 1-point game, and we went 5 for 13 from the foul line. So obviously the timing was really good in this game. Hopefully it is. I think free throw shooting is a lot of it's confidence. I think it's contagious. When 1 or 2 players miss a few, then I think the whole team starts feeling it. And then when people are knocking them down, I think everybody can kind of get on that bandwagon too. So definitely it was the difference in the ball game. 24 out of 26. And like I said, Zoe 14 for 14, pretty amazing. So that's definitely what was the difference in the game.
You know who I know loves that free throw stat line from yesterday's win over Notre Dame? Debbie Antonelli. She will eat that one up. For you guys, you're now inching closer to that double bye in the ACC tournament. You've been in that position before, and you haven't been in that position before. Why is a double bye in the conference tournament so important, Coach?
Yeah, we've been fortunate to be in it the last few years. And to be honest, I think we've clinched it with the tiebreakers. So it's really important. Our men, now give credit to Coach Keats and our men. Last year, they made the unthinkable run of winning 5 straight days in the ACC tournament, the juggernaut that it is, and they ripped through 5 straight games. But that's not what you ideally want to try to do. So it makes a big difference when you can get the double bye. Now you're looking not playing till Friday. I do think Friday's a little tougher because the other team's already played a game or 2, and they've kind of gotten the tournament jitters and all that out of the way. But, I think in the second half it starts taking over, that you maybe have a little more rest. And in our situation, we're playing some of our veterans quite a few minutes. So I think it's a big difference for that too, for our team to be able to have that extra day of rest.
Coach, you played 5 ranked teams over the last 6 games, and one that was sandwiched in there was a really tight game against Miami, who's a little bit lower there in the standings. Can you just describe what it's like to coach and play in this league this season?
Yeah, it's brutal. And, I guess I kind of sometimes, we're over here, on the coast, got the beaches around us. It's kind of like going out there and trying to catch some waves. And when they're coming in, it's just you get through one, you think you got time to catch your breath, and boom, here comes another wave over your head, knocking you down. And boom, here comes another one. And that's what this is like. I mean, there's so many great teams, unbelievable talent, great coaches. And like you said, I mean, the one team we had in that stretch that wasn't ranked, we won by 2 points. So you've got to be ready every night.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to Greensboro. Hey, what's it been like for you after the game last night until today? Like, what have you done between the win and now?
Yeah, trying to switch gears and get ready for Wake Forest while also watching film, putting clips together of our game yesterday. We won, but we gave up 90-something points, and that's not really the formula for success, to be honest with you. So we're going to have to do a better job defensively and on the boards if we want to go deep, in March, because you're going to have a game you don't shoot well, and you're going to have to survive that game. And the way you do that is to defend people and rebound. So definitely disappointed looking at that film, trying to keep showing them over and over and over what we got to clean up. And then while also getting ready for Wake Forest Thursday night, and and also a lot of these, some interviews, probably close to 200 text messages. I apologize to everyone that I haven't gotten back to yet, but definitely trying to keep up with all that. And our fans are just unbelievable. And it was yesterday. I think we had students that were camping out the night before, starting at about 10:30 in the evening. So it's an awesome place to play and to coach and to be a part of the excitement that we have here.
Yeah, one thing about NC State fans, they're going to show up in support, and they did in droves yesterday, and it helped lead you guys to a win over number 1. And consider this an official thank you to everyone who has an unanswered text from Wes Moore right now, because he's going to get back to you eventually. Coach, thank you so much. We'll look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, thanks for having me on and getting ready for Greensboro. It's going to be fun. Everybody come out.
We'll see you there. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.